And do a roll call followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Major Kessler Brooks of the North Miami Police Department, and we're gonna do our invocation by our Pastor Amos Jean, definitely of the Philadelphia Baptist Church. We'll do the invocation and we'll take it from there. Madam Clerk.
Mayor Alex Asome.
Here.
Vice Mayor Cassandra Timothy.
Here.
Councilman Kevin Burns.
Here.
Councilwoman Mary Estime Irvin.
Present.
Councilman Pierre French Charles.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Pledge? Yes, sir.
If we can all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so very, very much. And invocation, Pastor. Yes.
Please remain standing.
Yes.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we give you thanks and praise for all your mighty certain us day by day. Thank you that made us in your image exist in community with other people. We thank you for the city of North Miami. Thank you for our elected officials, the businesses, the churches, the families, and the individuals that make the city the great place that it is. Grant the city of North Miami would be known as a righteous city, a city that confesses Jesus as Lord, a city of peace and hope, a city with happy homes, and a city that welcomes the stranger, a city that cares for the needy, a city that defends the innocent from evildoers. I pray for this council meeting tonight. Give the council members wisdom and guidance as they deliberate on the item before them. May every decision be righteous in your sight, for the benefits of the city and for your glory. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Pastor Amos. It's really appreciated. Merci en pile. And now we're going to have Madam Manager. I know we have there's a couple of items. I wanted to request if the folks, hold on, I'm trying to get okay, I have it right here. If we could move you know what, it's funny because, okay, that's consent agenda. Mm-hmm. We could move item, let's see.
I believe it's item H that you'd like to move up.
Yes, please, if we can, and then move. Which one is this? Is that?
So, yeah,
is that
taking
G?
item H first and then going to G and the rest of the agenda in order.
Hold on, we could do, yes. Or do we want to leave G for last, or do we want to just take it in the middle?
No.
No, excuse me, sir. I'm just saying I'm moving it to take the PBA and then we deal with it. It's my question to the rest of the council. Do we want to take it first, or do we want to move it in terms of that? But right now, my proposal is just to move it right after the PBA.
Correct.
That's okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Are we, Madam Manager? So this is rearranging G and H, and then we'll go from there.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Is the agenda set?
The presentation.
Yeah. 1 second. Please. I just got. Okay. Thank you so much, Madam Attorney.
Yes, Mayor, the agenda is set, and the council may
Thank you so
proceed.
very much. Appreciate that so much. And then now we're going to go down for presentation, followed by city announcement.
Good evening, everyone. Vice Mayor Cassandra Timothy. And this month of June, we commemorated Caribbean Heritage Month. And as the honorary chair of Caribbean Heritage Month, it is my honor to recognize the committee who put together a spectacular month of events led by Ms. Arlette Blake. At this moment, we can give a round of applause. You all enjoyed a lovely festivity as you guys were walking in. At this time, I would like to invite all of the committee up to be recognized. And thank you for your hard work. Thank you for putting together this awesome commemorative month in the city of North Miami. You know, we celebrate every culture here in our city. And this month was Caribbean Heritage Month. So give it a round of applause to the lovely committee. Now I'll hand these over to Arlette.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Arlette KB Jean, and I had the pleasure this year of serving as the, I would say, co-chair, because Stephen Marsalis is also a big, proud member of our committee, and he's helped so much as my co-chair. I'd just like to take the time to acknowledge all of my committee members. We were small but mighty, and our theme this month, I think that we successfully made the goal. Right? So thank you guys all for all of your hard work and all of your dedication and your time. Because I know on top of your regular jobs, this was a job. So thank you guys a lot. Appreciate it. Thank you. So I'll just call everyone's name really quickly. Taisha Pierre. Stephanie Zenon. Thank you. Savannah Smith. Stephen Marsalis, my wonderful co-chair. Ruth Sheffrier, I hope I'm saying that properly. Laurel Woodley, thank you so much. Lorna Louis Pierre. Georgette Spratling. Glenisha Miller, Chrisleen Percival, Beverly Graham, Amanda Kovach, Arlette Blake, Emmanuel Ocean, which is Sergeant Ocean, Jackie Callis, and Tiny Rodriguez. Thank you again for all of your hard work and dedication. I appreciate it.
Do you need the people at the end to come in?
Who's here? Okay.
Okay. And on behalf of Caribbean Heritage Month, we wanted to take a moment to honor some individuals within the Caribbean community that have been extremely helpful to the city of North Miami in commemorating this month. We have Marlon Hill Esquire, who's not here, but we'll give it to Arlette Blake on his behalf. At this time, I would like to invite Inner Circle to the podium to be recognized. They're known as the Bad Boys of Reggae, and it's a Jamaican band formed in 1968 by brothers Ian and Roger Lewis. They are known for their popular songs like Bad Boys and Sweat, a La 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 song. This band has undergone lineup changes over the years with members including Ian and Roger Lewis, Bernard Tudor Harvey, Lilotte Hall, Trevor Skata Bonnick, and Andre Phillips. And on behalf of the city of North Miami, our Mayor Alex Desome, Vice Mayor me, Councilman Kevin A. Burns, Councilwoman Mary Estime Irvin, and Councilman Pierre Franz Charles Dubai recognize that today be Inner Circle Day in the city of North Miami.
Well, Good evening to everybody, and this is a very, very, very nice honor, seeing that we live right down the street, so it's like a neighborhood honor, but with a lot of good feelings. So one love to everybody, and hope the world can be peaceful. One love.
Thank you. And next, we would like to invite Rosie Gordon Wallace to the podium to be honored as well. A visionary curator, culture strategist, and a tireless advocate for contemporary artists of the Caribbean diaspora and beyond. As the founder of the Diaspora Vibes Cultural Arts Incubator, she has spent nearly 3 decades building an international platform rooting in experimentation, community, and cultural dialogue. And there is a lot of whereases and a lot of great accolades that you have done in our community. So we thank you. And on behalf of our mayor, Alex Desome, vice mayor, me, Councilman Kevin A. Burns, Councilwoman Mary Estime Irvin, and Councilman Pierre Frost Charles, we do recognize you today with Rosie Gordon Wallace Day in honor of our Caribbean Heritage Month celebration.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you to my colleagues and peers at MOCA. You guys have nurtured me over the years, and on behalf of the Black and Brown artists that serve our city, I want to thank you for this opportunity, and to the entire council and Sir Mayor, thank you again, and this means a lot. Lastly, my nephew Marlon Hill was not here, so I'm going to give him a big bad up.
And this includes this.
No. Thank you so much. And then now we're going to have a special presentation on our North Miami Youth Council, which is the brainchild of Councilwoman Mary Estime Irving. We have a library director who's going to do the presentation. Paul?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and Council. As the Mayor mentioned, my name is Paul Brazil. I'm the library director here at the City of North Miami. And I also have the honor of serving as the North Miami Youth Council liaison. Once again, I would like to thank you, Councilwoman Mary Estime Irvin, for trusting me in my leadership to lead the next generation. I also like to thank Assistant City Manager Katia Filippo for trusting me as well. It's been a journey this past year. I've learned so much dealing with the 4 members behind me, the Youth Council. I may be the youngest director in the city, but if you ask them, there's nothing young about me. They've taught me so much. I mean, it's so amazing, the next generation, where they're going. I know they're going to represent North Miami well, and I'm very proud of everything we've done. Just to give you a brief background, a full Youth Council usually consists of 8 members. We started off this year with 5 members, but unfortunately one of the members could not commit to the Youth Council, so we ended up with 4. Nevertheless, I'm very proud of the accomplishments the 4th Youth Council members behind me accomplished. I know that they're going to do well. 2 of them are going off to college, so I know they're going to continue to represent North Miami well. The presentation tonight is very brief. I know the mayor, you like brief presentations.
Yes, sir.
It's very brief. They're going to discuss what they've done in the past year, some requests that they have as the Youth Council to continue to expand, and other details that they'll like to share with everyone here tonight. With that being said, I'm going to call up to the podium Youth Council member Jeffrey St. Lair.
Thank you, Paul. Good evening, Mayor, council members, staff, residents, and guests. My name is Jeffrey Singer, and I have the privilege of being the North Miami Youth Councilman for District 4. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to speak with you today. Tonight, the North Miami Youth Council will share the progress we made over this past year, from expanding our community outreach to building relationships with local organizations and peers across the nation. The Youth Council has been hard at work, laying the foundation for long-term impact. We will also provide an update on our recent efforts in leadership, development, and networking, highlighting our initiatives in community engagement, and outline an event we launched and plan to expand. We will also respectfully prevent a funding request to support our goals and ensure that the Youth Council continues to thrive and serve as a resource for the youth of North Miami. We are deeply grateful for your continued support and guidance. We look forward to sharing how your investment in us is already making a difference and how much more we can do together. Thank you. Now I would like to call up my colleague, Youth Mayor Cotier.
Good evening. My name is Stacy Cotier, and I have the honor of serving as North Miami Youth Mayor. One of the most impactful parts of our journey as the North Miami Youth Council is the opportunity to learn, network, and build meaningful connections through several conferences and events we've attended this year. As Youth Council members, we learned the importance of networking is more than just meeting people. It's about building connections, sharing knowledge, and expanding our perspective beyond the city we represent. As young representatives of North Miami, it's critical for us to learn not only how government functions here at home, but also how leadership operates at the regional, state, and national levels. We're proud to represent North Miami at several events, including the National League of Cities Congressional City Conference, the Haitian Ladies Network Conference, both in Washington, D.C., the National Haitian American Elected Officials Network Youth Caucus Summit, and the Women's History Month celebration, which both took place right here in Miami. At these events, we had the chance to meet elected officials, youth leaders, and change makers who shared their experiences and offered guidance. We exchanged contact information, participated in workshops, asked questions, and truly began to understand the scope and responsibility of being of public service. Among all these experiences, the National League of Cities Conference was the most impactful. There, we met peers from across the country who, like us, serve on youth councils in their cities. It was inspiring to see so many young people involved in civic leadership. And it gave us new ideas for programs, policies, and initiatives we can bring back to North Miami. We walked away from that conference more motivated, informed, and connected. As the Youth Council, we now clearly see that networking is a vital part of our role. The relationships we build today with mentors, peers, and public servants will support our development as leaders and our ability to serve the community with vision and purpose. I now would like to call up my colleague, Youth Councilwoman Joseph, where she will be discussing a project that the Youth Council worked on this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Youth Council Mayor. Good evening, everyone. My name is Esther Joseph, and I am pleased here to be serving as the Youth Councilwoman for District 4. Another key area of our work this year has been organizing initiatives, not just attending events, but creating them. As members of the North Miami Youth Council, we've come to understand that youth-related events are one of the most powerful ways we can engage with our community, spark important conversations, and address real issues that matter for the people that we represent. This year, we were especially proud to plan and lead our very own panel discussion focused on Haitian American mental health. This was more than just a discussion. It was a moment of connection, healing, and understanding. We heard from our professionals, elders, and community members who shared personal stories and experiences that helped us understand the generational perspective around mental health, particularly in the Haitian American community. Many of us never had the chance to hear firsthand of what the elder generation experienced as they grew up, how they were taught to deal with stress, trauma, or emotional struggles, and how those beliefs still shape conversations today. It was eye-opening, and it reminded us how important it is to create safe spaces where youth and adults can learn from one another. Through this program, we didn't just host an event. we created a platform for real, honest dialogue. It helped us grow as leaders, deepen our empathy, and reinforce the idea that our generation has a role in playing in changing the narrative around mental health and community wellness. Moving forward, we were committed to building more programs like this, ones that reflect the heart of our city, uplift unheard voices, and create opportunities for education, connection, and impact. Thank you, and I would like to call up Youth Mayor Stacy Couture back up to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, Youth Councilwoman Joseph. So, what's next? Over the next few months, we'll be working collectively with our Youth Council liaison, Paul, on recruiting members, launching a digital newsletter to keep our community informed, conducting a youth-based survey to gather input directly from our peers in North Miami, and restoring our social media pages to better connect and engage online. A new initiative we're excited to propose is partnering with nearby youth council groups like those in Miramar and Lauderdale Lakes. This will help us exchange ideas, build stronger networks, and expand the impact of youth leadership throughout the region. I now would like to call up my colleague, Youth Councilwoman Sarah Moore, where she will be discussing our funding and budget requests for the Youth Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. My name is Clara Sena Moore, and I'm the Youth Councilwoman of District 3. I have the honor of doing the last two slides, most importantly, the money slide. This year, the North Miami Youth Council operated with just 4 members and a budget of only $5,000. With those limited resources, we were still able to attend major conferences, organize impactful programming, and present the youth of the city of North Miami with pride. We're proud of what we accomplished, and we were intentional with every dollar spent. However, the standard for a full youth council is 8 members, and that's what we are preparing for the incoming year. With a fully active council, the financial demands will increase significantly, from travel and event participation to programming, uniforms, marketing materials, and any other miscellaneous items that may occur. We're concerned that the current $5,000 budget will no longer be adequate to support a fully functioning council. To ensure we can improve equal opportunities, continue to create meaningful events, and represent the city youth effectively, we are respectfully requesting an increase in our annual budget to $25,000. This increase will allow us to fully support our expanded team, continue attending high-level conferences, and offer programs that truly serve and uplift our community. We're grateful for the support we've received so far, and we hope to continue building with you to grow, lead, and represent North Miami at the highest standard. With that being said, and before I wrap this up tonight, we have one final request that we would like to propose this evening. 2 of the current youth council members, including myself, term will be ending this summer. We are interested in one final development trip with the current youth council to New York with a list of activities that will benefit us, which is displayed on the screen. As I previously mentioned, we have surpassed our current budget, and this would be an additional request for this trip to be possible. We've conducted research, and as you can see on this slide, we have provided details and purpose of this trip. We really hope that you can consider this. Again, we would like to thank the entire mayor and council and city administration for investing in us, and we're here for any questions and feedback you may have. Thank you so much.
Awesome, thank you. Are we done?
Questions for them, but they'll
Are we
open the
done?
questions.
No? Sure, absolutely. So we could take a picture.
Okay. Want to take a picture?
Hey, come on up. Let's.
What's that?
You want to add something else, or that was it?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you so much for your presentation. We appreciate it as you are part of the, we got to go down and take a picture with you guys, but as you are part of the process, so this is it. So I would say with the request, we appreciate it, but the right time, and this is how we do it. Your representative who's there, obviously that's something that we could look at and request it in our budget as we are budgeting, since we are teaching about good budget management. So for next year, which starts in October, right, Madam Manager? October 1st, obviously I don't have anything if it's presented by, so there's a little process. Paul will work with you and show you, and we'll do what we do. But the right way, right now, it was not budgeted. I don't think that we could do it. So in teaching you and showing you how to do good budget management, that's a good way. But definitely, in a couple months, couple days, because the months are going by like hours. So we should do what we do in terms of me. But if I ask my colleague if we could go and take a picture with them, and congratulations on all that you guys do, I would ask one thing. You do come and shadow us, myself, your prospective council person, the administration, so you could get the real handle, even if it's for one day, because there's a lot going on in the world. Thank you so much.
May I, Mr. Mayor, please? First of all, I would like to just thank you, Director Paul Bazil, for your leadership. I'd like to thank you, the youth, Mayor and Council, for your leadership. Thank you for your boldness. Thank you for what you have done. I'm very, very proud of you. And like the mayor said, we will be looking to support you, and we are happy that you are participating in this process, so that you understand how everything goes. I want to continue to encourage you to be leaders for your generation, for your kind, and to lift North Miami high wherever you go. So again, thank you for all of you for the great work that you have done and are continuing to do.
No, I'm just gonna take a picture of you. It's that day. Jeffrey.
Do that on the employee, what they call it? Oh, my God, workers. City events.
Slide up here.
Yay! We got city events by Beverly from the communications department, followed by hurricane preparedness. Mayflower, we do? Okay, yeah. And after Mayflower for hurricane preparedness, we'll do some appointments and we'll get to the agenda. Yes.
All right. Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, North Miami neighbors, and guests. My name is Beverly Graham, and I am presenting the following announcements on behalf of the City of North Miami. Attention North Miami business owners. The City of North Miami is offering green rehab grants up to $10,000 to assist businesses in improving their facilities, increasing energy efficiency, and reducing energy costs. To apply, visit www.northmiamifl.gov/economic-dev. Vice Mayor Cassandra Timothy invites North Miami residents to join free basic to advanced computer classes every Saturday until July 12th at the North Miami Public Library. Classes are offered from 11:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and include training in Microsoft Word, Excel, email, and more, with Creole and Spanish interpreters available on site. To register, visit the North Miami Library or call 305-891-5535. Proof of North Miami residency is required. Thinking about buying your first home? Join the First Time Home Buyers Education Workshop in Creole, held every fourth Saturday of the month from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the North Miami Public Library. Learn about grants, down payment assistance, closing costs, and more. To register, call Expert Resource Community Center at 305-652-7616.
Let your imagination shine with North Miami Public Library's Summer Reading Challenge. Register now at northmiamifl.beanstack.com and join us now until July 25th for a chance to win big. Winners will be announced on Saturday, July 26th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our Family Fun Day and Summer Reading Wrap-Up, taking place at our North Miami Public Library. It's your chance to read, win big, and color your world with fun. This summer, little ones and their caregivers can sing, dance, and play at North Miami's Public Library's Zubini Summer Session. Classes take place every Monday at 10 a.m. until July 28th, offering music and movement fun for children ages 0 to 4. To register, please visit zubini.com or scan the QR code on the flyer. Be part of shaping the future of North Miami by attending one of the upcoming LDR update sessions featuring the flavors of NOMI. The next 2 meeting dates are Wednesday, July 9th at the Joe Celestin Community Center and Thursday, July 10th at the North Miami Public Library, both at 6 p.m. Students in grades 3rd through 6th can dive into the world of coding every Thursday until July 31st at the North Miami Public Library. No experience is needed and laptops will be available on site. To register, please call 305-891-5535. Space is limited. This summer, teens can dive into fun and creativity with the North Miami Public Library's teen programs, including anime club, art workshops, gaming days, and youth empowerment camp. Activities are taking place now and run through July, perfect for making new friends and learning new skills. Visit northmiamifl.beanstock.com or call 305-891-5535 for more information. Children can boost their reading confidence in the most adorable way by reading to therapy dogs at Wags and Tails. This heartwarming program takes place every Tuesday at 11 a.m. at the North Miami Public Library all the way through July 29th. The excitement is nonstop at every Tuesday at 10 a.m. this summer with Show Day at the North Miami Public Library. From bubble shows and magic to planetariums and DJ dance parties, each week brings a new adventure. Call 305-891-5535 for more information or visit northmiamifl.beanstack.com to register. Step into summer with Soul Step line dancing every Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the North Miami Public Library, going on until July 30th. Learn fun line dances and bring the community together while promoting movement, culture, and good times. Celebrate Caribbean American Heritage Month with NOMI Library Stories, a storytelling series that honors the heart and soul of Caribbean traditions. On Wednesday, June 29th, our very own Personnel Director, Laura Woodley, will be the featured reader. Storytime takes place at the North Miami Library from 4 to 5 p.m. For more information, please visit northmiamifl.gov/celebrate. Councilwoman Mary Estime Irvin invites you to the District 3 Constituent Days on Thursday, June 26th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the Griffin Community Center. Meet with city departments, enjoy refreshments, and pick up hurricane preparedness supplies, including cases of water. Ready to master the art of videography? Join us for the North Miami NOMI Tech Videography Masterclass by Trillion Visuals, taking place on June 26th through the 27th from 9:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the North Miami Public Library. Receive hands-on training with industry standard equipment and software, along with instruction in key production techniques. To register, please visit northmiami.gov/videography. Get ready to move, sweat, and celebrate Caribbean culture at our high-energy soca and dancehall class led by Soria Kajuste. Head to the Scott Galvin Community Center on Wednesday, June 26th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. for an unforgettable night of rhythm and fun. Councilwoman Mary Estime Irvin invites families to a special Father's Day barbecue at Buccaneer Park on Sunday, June 29th from 4 to 7 p.m. Enjoy music, games, food, and giveaways as we celebrate the amazing fathers in our community. Are you a teen between 15 and 18 looking to make a difference in North Miami? Apply now to be part of the city's youth council and help advise our mayor and council. The deadline is Sunday, August 31st by 5 p.m. Please visit northmiamifl.gov/youth council for more details. Celebrate the 4th of July with the City of North Miami at our Independence Day celebration by the Bay. Gates open at 6 p.m. and fireworks light up the sky at 9 p.m. At FIU's Biscayne Bay campus, admission is free and parking is also free. On July 5th, from 2 to 4 p.m., join Mocha Mini Makers for a special workshop celebrating creativity, inclusion, and the remarkable legacy of Judith Scott, a pioneering fiber artist with Down syndrome. Celebrate diversity with Different is a Great Thing to Be and Friendship Bracelets. This Disability Awareness Month, Mocha invites you to participate and join for an inspiring hands-on Sunday Stories program on July 6th from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. in the Mocha Pavilion. Help North Miami students prepare for the new school year by donating backpacks and school supplies now through Monday, July 28th at the North Miami Public Library. Save the date for our upcoming back to school block party that's happening Monday, August 11th from 3 to 7 p.m. at the library. Don't miss out on the fun. To stay up to date with NOMI news, events, programs, and services, log on to North Miami's official website at www.northmiamifl.gov. Click Connect with NOMI on the homepage to sign up for the city's newsletters. Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at North Miami FL. On X, you can follow us at NOMI News. This concludes the city announcements.
Thank you. Thank you. Mayflower.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. Through the manager. Thank you. Mayflower Ramon, Chief of Strategic Initiatives and Emergency Manager. As of today, June 24th, the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season has produced the first named storm, Tropical Storm Andrea. The system is currently located over the central Atlantic, more than 2,000 miles from Florida, and is moving away from the land. At this time, it poses no threat to our region. Our Emergency Management Division remains at an elevated state of readiness. All departmental hurricane preparedness plans have been reviewed and are in place, and we will continue to receive updates, and we'll push out the updates as we receive it from the National Service Center. We also want to emphasize that the city continues to coordinate closely with local, county, and state emergency management partners to ensure readiness and situational awareness for all hazards, not just hurricanes. This includes communications, interoperability, sheltering coordination, and joint operational planning. As part of this regional coordination, the city maintains mutual aid agreements with neighboring jurisdictions and our state. Following last Hurricane Milton's deployment through our police department, I am pleased to report to Mayor and Council that we have successfully submitted all our mutual aid reimbursement claims, and we are now waiting final approval from the state. We also encourage all residents to take advantage of this quiet period to finalize their personal preparedness plans and for our businesses to update their emergency plans. Ensure that they are all signed up for our official city alerts and that they review all evacuation and supply checklists at our website at www.northmiamifl.gov. Thank you for your time and for your continued commitment to public safety and emergency preparedness. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Mayflower, if I may ask, through the city manager, have we done any department training? And so are we all confident in also working with social service to make sure that our seniors have, they are prepared as we have been in previous years?
We did have our department-wide tabletop exercise a few weeks ago, and all departments are ready for any emergency that comes forth.
And through the manager, if I may answer the last point from the mayor. Yes, sir, we do have the list of all our vulnerable population that was shared to HSS, and we just encourage to update that, and we encourage residents to apply, to call 311 or to go through our HSS to ensure that they are on that list. Yes, but
yes,
we are prepared.
Thank you so much. It's something that I worked on years ago in ensure, and I'm glad that we are still doing that, working with the Albert and the social service in terms of, thank you so much.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Quick question to the manager. As far as emergency shelters, do we have a list of identified location just in case something do happen?
Yes, absolutely. And through the manager, the county has all of those listings. Because we take it, meaning emergency management does take every storm very uniquely and differently, and you don't know where they're going to hit, whether it's on the west coast or east side of our city or the county. They activate. As we activate that, as we watch the storm within 72 hours, actually evacuations are the first to be to be imposed. And if that is imposed, then cities are also activated, or evacuation zones and sheltering are activated. And we know it. Actually, those who are on the list, Mayor, are the first ones to receive the call. Yes, they are the first ones to be evacuated. And as we open those shelters, we make the population or residents aware of it.
And
but
just-
it depends on the storm.
Indeed, and just to add to that, in our city, North Miami Senior High is the first course of shelter. In previous years, where it's usually bad, in some cases, they will work with us, coordinate very, very effectively with our emergency management, with the police department, and we open shelters in terms of together with the county. I remember one year we ran out of space because once the county opened it, it's open to everyone. Our city, our priority will be our resident, but it's open to first come, first serve. There was previous year where we ended up going to North Miami Middle across the street, and then there's some cases we're talking about JCC in terms of if it does get to a population where we need more. So we work in closely with the county. Okay, thank you, May.
Thank you.
Okay, wait a minute, hold on. Wait. Appointments, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a few appointments which I'll lump all together under one motion.
Thank you.
So we have a resolution appointing Gio Darter to the Centennial Committee, Hector Medina to the Centennial Committee, Emanuela Fleurimont at large to the Commission for Women, Marie O. Etienne to the Commission for Women, Charles Ernst to the Planning Commission, and Robert Besson to the Planning Commission.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Burns to approve the board appointments as listed. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estime Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you so much. We have consent agenda.
Unless a member of the City Council wishes to remove a specific item from this portion of the agenda, tabs A through F constitute the consent agenda. These resolutions and items are self-explanatory and are not expected to require additional review or discussion. These items will be recorded as individually numbered resolutions adopted unanimously by the following motion: that the consent agenda comprised of tabs A through F be adopted.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Charles to approve the consent agenda, tabs A through F. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estime Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Tab H, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, providing for ratification of the 2024-2027 collective bargaining agreement between the City of North Miami and the South Florida Police Benevolent Association for the bargaining unit consisting of the city's police officers and sergeants, authorizing the interim city manager to sign the collective bargaining agreement on behalf of the city, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Please note that this item was tabled from the June 10 council meeting. Tab H.
Thank you so much, Madam Manager. Ms. Woodley, how you doing? Mr. Brad, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. For the record, Laura Woodley, Personnel Director. Through the interim city manager, we are presenting for your approval tonight a proposed collective bargaining agreement for our police officers and sergeants. Joining me tonight is our outside labor attorney, Brett Snyder, and we are here to answer any questions you might have.
Well, we presented last week, and I think I had requested for me to get it off for briefing, and I want to thank you guys. We did have the briefing, and subsequently, after the briefing, I met with the team and discussed. My only thing was with the briefing, we're good, and we fully support it. But this is, I must say, a very good step between the police department and our men and women in uniform and our administration, and also with Brad, because I know there's been a couple of, well, I want to say it's been a long time, a couple of months. I don't want to say years and years, but obviously this is something that is important. That, from my understanding, the police department did vote in terms of that, and they are all in support of this. This is something, but so just so the highlight of where we are, I don't know if you, the CFO or you, Ms. Woodley, would just let the public know just the highlight of where we are. This is our negotiation with our police department, with the PBA, who would be, and I see Mr. Stedman in the back. How you doing, sir? In terms of, I need to call you, by the way, but I will. Just to go over the highlight of the thing. And I'm sorry, Brett, of what happened last week. I've heard something. It wasn't you. It's the PBA. I'll get with Stedman. But yes, go ahead, sir.
All good. Good evening, Brett Schneider for the record. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. It's a pleasure to be here before you. Just briefly, because I know we did go over this a little bit last time, and we've briefed, I think all of you at this point. This is a 3-year collective bargaining agreement. We've been at this for a while. The agreement actually goes back, the beginning date's October 1, 2024, and it goes through September 30th, 2027. In just high-level summary, 3-year agreement. The significant piece of this for the city was an agreement regarding the city's pension plan. And the biggest piece to benefit the city was the PBA's agreement to allow the city to keep all currently unallocated and all future 185 premium tax money received by the plan to offset the city's required contribution. So that is a big concession made by the union. In exchange, there were cost of living adjustments of 4% in year 1, 5% in year 2, 5% in year 3. There were also some pension enhancements for those folks that are in the current 185 plan. In addition, there were we agreed to honor Law Enforcement Appreciation Day going forward as a new holiday. We agreed to some minor increases on minimum pay for going to court or for getting recalled to work on a day off. And we also agreed to recognize some additional assignments with special assignment pay, which would include the Honor Guard, crisis negotiations, traffic homicide, and the SWAT team. And then finally, we agreed to increase the longevity pay lump sums received by employees hired on or after January 1, 2007. So this was a long, drawn-out negotiation, but I believe we did reach a successful conclusion. And as you said, Mayor, the PBA did vote, and they ratified the contract, meaning they voted in favor of it, the majority of them at least. And so we're here today to just ask you to approve it. As I mentioned to most of you, because we are changing the pension plan, we will be coming back to you with a pension ordinance amendment in August and September. All that will do is just implement what we've agreed to in this collective bargaining agreement on pension. It's not anything different. It's just the next step you take to adopt the pension changes that were agreed to.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. And without a doubt, I could say, as one of the mayor in this city, and I know former Mayor Burns would be here. We're in a different time now. And I have, as one of the mayors who have spent so much time with the police department, and my appreciation for them and the work that they do, not only to protect us and to protect the residents and what we do. So between the Chief Gaz and Chief Rivera and the entire command staff, and I'm always focused on the officers who patrol. I don't really care about the command, the OK too, but I'm more concerned and always care. So that's why with that, tomorrow I am doing an appreciation luncheon for the entire department, just to say thank you to them. I know we got some good report, but they know. They are with me every day. So there is not somebody, if there's something, I have some officer dealing with me some way. And while we are on the street, if there's something, some residents need something, we do it. So I really appreciate them and thank you. And I know, Annabelle, I know you may be, but this was something that you pushed. I was pushing to kind of wait, but she really tell me this is something that we had to do now. And the work I was thinking about, we wait for a new city manager, but the work that they do, and with you, Ms. Woodley, Brett, and the entire team, Angela, and everybody in terms of what we are, nothing is perfect, but this is great. Our police is good. And guess what? We saved some money where we are able to afford it, because there are years we would not be able to do that. So we are in a better place because of our good fiscal management. I know we don't talk about what we do good here as often, but that is one thing. And I do want to say thank you to all of my colleagues in order for us to be here, to be able to do this for the officers. Because if we were reckless, we would not do what we do. We would not have enough to do what we do. This is a major, a couple of $1 million commitment to us, but without a doubt, we appreciate the work that they do, and thank you for the work that you guys have done. So I move for approval.
Second.
Oh yes, that's public hearing is open on the item, and Chief, you got to come up. We got the chief here. Also, I wanted to acknowledge former Mayor. Oh, we got two chief. Yes, absolutely. I thought I saw former Mayor Frank Wolin. Is he still here? Oh, he's here. Hey, Frank is here. Who else is here? No other elected officials. Okay, great. Chief, you have it.
Well,
Dottie, we have, I'm sorry, Chief. State Rep Dottie Joseph, I did not thank you, Vice Mayor. Yes, you are here.
I don't know which chief is older, myself.
Go ahead.
Mayor, Council, I've been hooked up with the North Miami Police Department since 1970, and Tom a heck of a lot longer than me. And I got to tell you, this is the best I ever seen in a police department. These guys are top notch. I put them up against anybody in the country. They are professional, they're led well, they have good morale, and they go out and they run to the sound of the gunfire. Let me tell you, we're in a very tense situation coming up with asymmetrical warfare. And it's not going to be the National Guard or any other agency that's going to be the first responder. It's going to be these brave men and women that put their lives on the line. As you know, Mayor, you gave a speech on Police Memorial Day. We lost 3 officers in the line of duty. And these people put their lives on the line every day. They're social workers, traffic engineers, doctors, lawyers. They got to make a decision in 2.25 seconds out there. And they are not the suppressors of liberty, but the guaranteers of the Constitution. These people are our representatives out there. And right now, you got the best police department I have ever seen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm Thomas Flom. I live at 840 Northeast 140 Street. I've lived there for 66 years. And I agree with everything that Chief Each has said. And this contract is a win-win situation. It's the best thing that can happen in labor negotiations when there are no losers. The city wins, the employees win, and I know that the council is going to do the right thing, and I appreciate you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you so much. I see Chief Guys. Do you want to add anything before we close public hearing? I see Mike is coming and PBA is also coming. Please, yes, go ahead, please.
Hi there, Rachel Goldberg, a resident, 1330 Northeast 134th Street, North Miami 33161. Good evening. I rise today as a representative of Iron Manors HOA in strong support of the men and women of the North Miami Police Department and urge this body to act swiftly in ratifying the 2024 to 2027 collective bargaining agreement. This agreement, long overdue, is not just a contract, it's a commitment to those who risk their lives daily to protect our community. Our officers have shown unwavering dedication, professionalism, and resilience through some of the most challenging times. They deserve fair wages, adequate resources, and the stability that this agreement provides. Delays only undermine morale and hinder North Miami. Let's send a clear message today. We value and respect those who serve. Let's move forward today with the approval they each have earned. Thank you.
Oh, statement? Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah.
Good evening. Sharice Gauze, Chief of Police, 700 Northeast 124th Street, through the manager. I'd just like to say to Mayor and Council, thank you so much for your support. Our officers go out each and every day and do a phenomenal job making public safety a priority in the city of North Miami. So again, I'd just like to thank you for your support and your consideration tonight.
Thank you again. Thank you, Chief. Stedman Saul, President of South Florida PBA, and I want to thank you, Mayor and Commissioners, for bringing this item up. Let's get it put to bed, hopefully once and for all. I want to just echo on what your citizens are saying. Every penny that you've put into public safety will come back to you. We've learned in government we can do with a lot of things. I During Hurricane Andrew, I learned that I could use without water and I could do without power, but you couldn't do without public safety. And I want to thank you for supporting the men and women and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. If it's okay,
Yes.
I'll come by and see you tomorrow for your.
Thank you so much. And I want to say to you publicly the amazing job that you have done for the past few years with the South Florida Police Prevalence Association is just phenomenal. Under your leadership, what has happened, we truly, truly appreciate it. We're going to have a conversation. What had happened last week should have never, and I'm not going to talk about it publicly.
Yes, sir.
But we'll talk about it privately.
You got
But I
it.
want to
Thank-
say thank you, and you know I love the police, and we do. I want to vote and go and take a picture down there with you before you leave, so stay there.
I will
So
be.
public hearing is closed. I think it was moved and second by Councilman Charles. Guys, if we could vote, Madam Clerk.
I have a motion made by Mayor Desame to approve the item at tab H. The motion was seconded by Councilman Charles. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passes with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you. And we'll go down. Stedman, come back up. Madam Manager, please join us as we take a
Thank
picture
you, Council.
with them. Thank you.
Annabelle. All right. If you insist.
Laura, guys, come on, come on. We got it. Angela, Miss Reyes, come on. I'm taller than you.
Get up here. You don't get this skip this.
Anybody else?
On 3, 2, 3. Good?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And the next item, Madam Clerk.
Tab G, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorizing and approving the execution of an employment agreement with the city manager in substantially the attached form, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. This item was tabled from the June 10 council meeting. Tab G.
Oh, geez, that's what it is. Sir.
Good evening again, Brett Schneider. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. At the city attorney's request, I took the lead in working with Teresa Theralis and her council on an employment agreement. The agreement was initially on your agenda at the June 10th meeting. Ms. Theralis pulled it from that agenda to make some additional revisions. The revised draft of that agreement is now before you this evening. I did want to make 2 clarifying points. There are 2 Scrivener's errors in here, things that weren't changed from the prior agreement but should have been. The first one, you'll note that the current version of the agreement reflects in paragraph 3 and 4 in one paragraph later on, a start date of August 4th, 2025. That is Ms. Theralis' proposed start date. There are still references to the prior proposed start date of July 21st, which you can disregard. So the proposed start date under this agreement will be August 4th. And then the second point of clarification is there are provisions in this agreement in multiple places that indicate that if Ms. Theralis is terminated or resigns, that she would receive a payout for all of her accrued, unused, the leave that she's accrued and not yet used through the date of termination, nothing that would accrue in the future. So those two clarifications, everything else stands. And obviously, if you have any legal questions, I'm happy to answer them. I know Ms. Theralis and her counsel are also here if you have any questions regarding the agreement.
Just a question.
No, hold on. I think we have several questions before we go. So, before we go, is there a presentation by Ms. Theralis, attorney, or how do we do this in terms of? So, is that where we are?
Well, I can walk you through, give you an overview of the terms, if that helps on the record, which I'm happy to do. Okay. So let me.
Yeah, because we got to just talk about what is the package.
Sure,
We haven't
absolutely.
done that yet.
Okay, so the start date would be August 4th, 2025. And the key economic terms, starting in paragraph 4, the agreement would be for a 4-year term starting August 4th of 2025 with automatic annual renewals on August 4th each year thereafter. The initial starting salary in paragraph 5 is $350,000. And the agreement indicates that she would be eligible for pay increases each year thereafter of no less than 3%. That's also in paragraph 5. Paragraph 6, retirement. Ms. Theralis would continue to be a member of the Florida retirement system in the senior management class. And in addition, she would receive a contribution into her ICMA defined contribution account equal to 10% of her salary. I should add that the CFO is here as well, so if you have any questions about the specific dollars associated with these items, we can bring her in to answer them. She would receive an automobile allowance of $850 per month, a cell phone allowance of $250 per month. She would be eligible for a general expense allowance of $850 a month for expenses that she incurs in connection with her job as city manager. She would participate in the city's health and dental insurance plans for herself and her dependents at no cost to her. She would accrue, in paragraph 11, 3 weeks of sick leave and 4 weeks of vacation leave and holiday leave each year, but with those leave amounts being front-loaded each year, meaning that all of the leave is put in her bank at the beginning of the year, whereas if you have an accrual model and somebody's accruing 12 days a year, each month they accrue 1 day, she would receive the entire accrual each year up front. There is also, upon the commencement of her employment, in addition to that leave, she would receive a one-time allocation of 96 hours of paid leave that she can use for any purpose. And then for each year of her employment, for the first 4 years, her accrual of annual leave would go up by 1 week. So it would start at 4 weeks. After a year, she would start to accrue 5 weeks, then 6 weeks, then 7 weeks, and then it would cap after 4 years. Again, as I indicated before, upon separation, she would receive a payout of 100% of all the leave that she has accrued as of the date of separation, nothing beyond that. Termination, paragraph 16, the provision in here says that if you want to terminate her, you would have to give her at least 90 days notice of your decision to terminate her, and then she would be entitled to have a meeting after the completion of 90 days to state why, she doesn't want to be terminated, why she wouldn't be terminated. And then with respect to what she would receive post-termination, there are clauses on page 4 and 5 that deal with that in different scenarios. So for example, if she's terminated without cause, meaning that she didn't do anything wrong, but you decide you want to go in a different direction, this is in paragraph A1 on page 4, she would receive a payment for all work she's completed through the date of termination, a payment for 100% of all of her accrued leave, as we've discussed, severance pay equal to 20 weeks of her base salary, as well as the city's required contributions to her retirement account for that 20-week period. and that would be if it's without cause. If she, there's a provision, the next provision says that if the council reduces her salary or materially alters her job duties, she could leave and it would be treated as though it was a termination without cause. Termination with cause, so again, if she engages in misconduct of any kind and you fire her for cause, she would not be eligible for severance pay. She would still be paid through the date of her termination and would still receive the payouts for her banks at 100%. Termination for good reason. If she resigns because her duties are reduced, the council breaches her agreement, or there's any material negative change on her salary and benefits, she would receive severance pay equal to 16 weeks, benefits for 16 weeks, paid through her date of separation, and payouts for all accrued leave. And let's see. Those are pretty much the. I think those are the key material terms. Obviously, if there's something I didn't address that you have questions on, I'm happy to answer them. And Dottie Joseph is here as well to supplement. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, Madam Manager, Madam City Attorney, Madam Clerk. I'm here on behalf of a proposed city manager. And as you know, the market for city managers is pretty competitive in the entire state of Florida, and particularly in South Florida. What you have before you, as you are aware, and I want to thank each and every member of the council for their participation in the negotiations and sharing your concerns about the initial proposal. As you heard before, we pulled it last time in good faith to try to work out as many of the details as we possibly could. And at the same time, not put her in a worse situation than where she is currently, because she's thankfully well settled and employed with the county. So in order to pull her here, we are trying to make sure that it's competitive, that it's fair, and that it makes sense and in line with a lot of what we're seeing throughout the county. So this is the final product, with the exception of the Scrivener's errors that you already heard before about the start date being August 4th, and the one error that was replicated correctly throughout the remainder of the contract that is in that one section that needs to be corrected. So I believe before you is the final work product of the consensus of as many of the concerns that we were able to take.
Okay, go ahead. But the word.
Well, let me just conclude. Yes. It's the product that we have that takes into account the entirety of what you all had proposed that we were able to factor in for today.
Sure. We are going to have some questions, but I wanted to
just tell me
where we are. But go ahead.
Just for our attorney, can you come forward for a moment?
So we'll go ahead and I'm sorry, Brett. So we'll go ahead and we'll have our discussion, and then before we'll do public hearing in terms of where we are. But before, but go ahead. And then
this is just a question on behalf of our attorney. Did you negotiate any of these terms or make suggestions of these terms, dollar amounts, exit, vacation days, anything related to this? This is, I believe, what she is proposing to us, that you are not authorized to go back and negotiate or change anything on our behalf, correct?
So yes, initially just rewinding the clock a little bit, Ms. Theralis and her counsel produced a proposed contract. I reviewed it carefully for legal compliance, legal sufficiency, to make sure there were no provisions in there that violated any state law. As you may know, there's a state law that relates to severance pay, so we made sure that that was complied with, and any other provision, legal provision, I made sure was complied with. But in terms of negotiating what I would describe as the business terms, what her salary is, how much leave she accrues, that wasn't within my purview. I wasn't directed by the council to negotiate specific terms. What we did was we presented the legally sufficient version of her initial contract. A few of you did have some comments. As Dottie had indicated, they did pull it. They made a few revisions from the initial draft, which I think I shared with you all, the track changes version to show what was revised. And then I know a few of you have had some additional comments in the last day or two that I have shared with Ms. Theralis' counsel.
Okay, thank you.
Is that all? Are we good?
Are we ready to ask
No.
questions?
No. I'm ready to, in terms of where we have to open up the conversation and go where we are. So, because it feels like I just got to open this and figure out where we are. I want to, before I make my comments and kind of talk about where we are and get to the question of this, where we are tonight, I did this afternoon send you I did ask the attorney, Jennifer, to get in touch with you to send you my counter proposal in terms of what we have received. Did we share it with and I know Dottie and I, we were talking when I think you sent it, and I did send it to her again, and I know it's late, so I just wanted to be sure, and before I go on and open and make comments and get members' input and ideas, because this is serious. This is for the future of our city and the seriousness of it. We have residents on the emails and everything that we've been getting. So I just want to make sure, and I'm going to ask her legal counsel if they did receive my counter offer, which I could go into detail, but I didn't want to do that publicly yet because I don't know if they had a chance to review it, if they said if it's dead on arrival, if there's room for us to, negotiate. This one is also good too, Representative. So I just want to be sure that we're serious. At least I'm not wasting my time, and I'm going to be very clear with the residents because there's a lot of calls that we have gotten. So I kind of laid down the fire to those who called, and I said that I did receive the proposal, and I'll go into the historical things so everybody would know. So we all will be responsible for our own action as we are here tonight. So my question is, did we receive where we are, and if we could answer where we are from there, and then we could take it from there, and then I could go on into my opening remarks. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. You're welcome to do your opening remarks. I did receive at 5:09 p.m. Your text message with the terms that you had concerns about. Yes.
Thank you. And did you speak? So where are we? Do you know? Or
Well, I think we had discussed this because I had spoken to you a previous time when we pulled the item the first time to try to work out any specific details. At that time, the two details you had identified we worked on, and we brought those in line in the newer
That is
agreement.
not, Madam, let me say this, Rep, with all due respect. We had a conversation, and I don't want to go publicly, which I will. What we talked about and what we discussed was not what, and I did say to you when we spoke, I was supposed to at least reach out, or I thought you would have been reaching out a little bit sooner, but we all were busy, and I said, when I didn't hear from you yesterday or from Ms. Thurlis's counsel, I thought yesterday I was going to reach out back to you, but the day, we all human, things happen, and then today you called me in terms of that, but subsequently before that, we did not, our conversation, we talked about it,
The primary issue you identified for me were two. One of them was the salary, and then you had initially, I have my notes, we started to discuss it, and that was before the other meeting, so before the June meeting.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Today, we spoke because I called you.
Yes, correct.
Even though it's my understanding that our client reached out to you a number of times, and you got back to her over the weekend, saying, or sometime last week, saying you would talk to either Hans Ottenot or myself this weekend.
Okay, let's stop, because there's some work. No, it was not. I'm telling you, and we could bring the client, and I don't know if this is a good thing as we starting this relationship. No, it was not, and we did not have multiple calls. We had one conversation.
We had two separate
your
calls.
Client,
No. Two separate calls.
With you and I.
Yes, and then I tried to call you, and you texted her back saying that you would reach out to myself.
Yes, and I did, and we had our conversation.
You didn't reach out to me. I called you today.
No. I'm talking about before that. That's how we first started. Is that what we're talking about?
No, I called you that time as well.
I said I was going to call Hans. No, that is not accurate. I called the attorney. I called Hans, and Hans said he was going to a meeting, and he was going to have you call me. And then you did call me, and we had that conversation. Okay. So that was the first conversation that we had.
You're talking about in June?
Whenever, before the last meeting.
Understood.
So, and when you said in June, Rep, listen.
No, I'm just asking.
No, let me say this, Rep, because I'm getting to the point. It's early. in the evening. Let me just go and make my comments and see where we are.
Yes.
Thank you. Because I could tell this is not going to land pretty well tonight. So, and I want to say this with all due respect, and everybody knows who I am, and by now, if you don't, I've been up here for too long for you to know. I wanted Ms. Thurles to come in and work, and I reached out to her. I had heard some stuff in the community, whatever, but I thought about it, and I came here to the council publicly, and I said that. When I met with Ms. Thurles, she expressed to me that she's at the county and where she's at, and I said to her, and that's what I said, and there's nobody in this room who would tell you, and I said, because I have no business to lie or anything. There might be some things that I don't recollect, but as we talked about it, I will. If I remember we had the conversation, I will. We had several conversations, and she talked about her salary. And I said, we are 279 or 278, whatever that we are right now. But I said, I want you to come in with the city where we are, and I appreciate that. And I said, you know what? As much as I have called and talked to a lot of residents, homeowners, and I made the decision, I will take the hit, and I understand because you are at 340, I believe, whatever that is, so it's $9,000, which is a lot, because when we are negotiating for a city manager, we are negotiating with the attorney. Now, I say that I had all the intentions, and today when we spoke, Representative Joseph, I have not talked to anyone, and I didn't think that I needed to speak to anyone. We did reach out in terms of the contract and what's happening. I do not, and I respect you and Teresa, because it is your job to put in as much as you want in the contract and whatever, but it's up to us as policymakers to review it. So I always thought that under the thing, because I've done this several times with different city managers, that we're going to come here and I'm going to see where my colleagues are, but it sounds like with the opening statement of what's going on, or we know where this thing gonna land, and I'm not playing that game tonight. So I'm gonna tell you, and that's what I ask you, State Rep, if this is serious, and this is very serious to the thing of the city, but what I have received and what my colleagues have received, and for me to say as an elected official who've been elected. Again, I respect and Teresa or anybody who's coming in, that is their job to put in whatever that they want the sky. But it is our job as folks who ran for office, who put our hand on the Bible to do what's best for the city. And we talked about it, we did, and I said I've been getting a lot of calls from residents about that, and I need to clarify because a lot of people assume, since I publicly did say that I support Ms. Thurles, and I still do tonight. That is absolutely has nothing to do with this. But I also say to you, when we had our conversation, Representative Joseph, as a state representative, I said I thought that after I had our conversation with Ms. Thurles, she, as the mayor of the city who kind of lead the process, we could have talked about where I would have owned whatever that I say. The only thing that I said to you, and I restated again with Ms. Thurles, I said it's a lot of money with the 350, but I understand I could take a hit, I could support that, but everything else should stay in terms of the same. And you said, okay, and we take note. When we spoke this afternoon, you said to me that we had talked about the 350, and you assumed that I did not mean the other thing, so whatever, because when I saw the revision, I really didn't think it was a revision, because I remember that we talked about the salary and everything, because we could go line by line in what I sent to you, because there's no way, and I don't think there's none of my colleagues on this council, because it's not like, okay, I have 3 votes or whatever the case is. That's not, I really want this to be for North Miami, what's best for North Miami. I am not gonna come if we're not here for a real negotiation and you already have the votes and stuff. I'm not wasting my time. I'm just telling you this right now. So I'm gonna ask you again, do we have an agreement in terms of, and I could tell the residents what we are seeking, and any colleagues, we could get things and do this the right way. I have not reached out. I've only been in touch with Jennifer. I asked Miss Angela one thing to bring to me, the analysis that I got, and she sent it to everyone. I have not had any other discussion. I had several residents emailing and calling, and I've been trying this. So I've been doing this in good faith because you know what? I prayed before I got here. I said, whatever that's going to happen, I'll let God do it because you know what? Just like you, Representative, I put my hand on the Bible, and I said I would represent the city very well. This is not, and there's nobody here who could tell me what we have here, and I'm not. You are supposed to represent your client, just like the PBA did, and we negotiate, we do what we do. It's up to us. And again, if I feel or I think like my colleagues or this is already cooked in, which residents already tell me, whatever the case is, I am here to really have a good conversation if we're serious, or if you already have this thing, I'm not gonna sit here and waste my time. And I want all residents to know that I will definitely do what I do, and I would leave. And then you guys could do whatever that you guys need to do, because this is too serious. This is for our city, our residents, and what's been happening. This is not the way. And I'm gonna say, go down list by list so that the people would know. And I don't think I needed to do that. So that's what I said, because when you look at the comparison of what she is asking for, out of good faith, I felt like I was backstabbing away because. Everybody who's in this room would know. They know one thing about me. I'm not talking about anybody else on this desk, but every resident who would know. When you see this, you would know there's no way. Even if I drink some, and I don't even drink or smoke, whatever the case is, this would not be. And you guys know that. So that's what I say. If we want to do good faith, this is, and I'm not faulting you, but how are we going to talk about, and I don't want to go into details again, so I'm going to ask this one thing, because you guys could do whatever you guys need to do, but I need to know when I go home tonight, I put my head on that pillow. God is protecting me. I do what I need to do. This is not anybody who is anything near a dog catcher in the city would even talk about this, and we could go into line by line for details, and you know it, and whoever's coming in. Again, once I leave, and I tell residents, employees, I will be here. You ain't got to worry about nothing, because I will be here. I'll fight and do what I need to. And residents, I'm going to tell you why after my question, because I do not have time to play, and we are at a time where this is serious and this and that. Yes, this is a contract that is, to me, is dead on arrival. However, we here, we could do what we do, and it did not have to be where we are. And once I leave, the council who's remained, they do whatever they do. I will work. And Miss Adambo is here. I did not vote for Adambo, and she will tell you, I have been professional. I've been what I do, because you know what? At the end of the day, I put my hand on the Bible, and I say I will serve the people of North Miami. I want Ms. Turles to come in. I do not mind. I'm going to tell you again publicly. I will fight and do what I do, because I am the one who did what we do where we are with the administration to be with the money where we are. So there's nobody who's going to tell me they contributed to turn around our city. It's us here, and we do what we do. So we have a little bit of money. We could do what we do. So I said, I would, when I met with her, she said the salary, I said, I don't have any problem. I will take a hit for that, because I know our residents going to talk, because it's a lot of money. You know, but I said, I'm okay. I would do what we do, because I think we do. I thought I was being fair. I thought we all were being fair. But when I saw what I saw, I said, you know what? I don't have time to play. Obviously, I was being fair and honest and trying to do this the best way, but this train is going another way. I need to know when I go home tonight, I will be able to sleep well. I have not talked to anybody. I don't need, this is what I said to you, Rep, or my attorney, Brett. Is my plan, if you guys are considering this and we want to do this for whatever that we want to do, it's okay. But if we go in, and as far as opening it up and talk about this contract, I will let the residents know what's my plan, and just kind of move on and let your, whatever votes that you have in here, whatever that they think they're going to do, they could do it, and I'll leave, because I'm not playing the game, because I do not have time, and people here do not have time. So Brett, I'm going to ask you as my attorney, you gave this, and she says she received like 5-something today. 5-something, that's 2 hours before this meeting. So they could have decided whatever, because obviously, I don't want to publicly to go over what they asked us. You went over it very easily, but I don't want to do that, because I would be embarrassed as an elected official to do that. It's not good for us. It's not good for anybody. So again, I'm going to ask you, if we seriously, because I do not have the time, are we considering the plan that I have with I Don't Care? In every single plan that Ms. Terrellis asked for, we're giving it to her. Within this, all I said is we cannot afford, because why? She's also negotiating, and this is something when Councilwoman had mentioned something, and I think this is something that we do need to talk about, where the attorney and the manager get the same thing. We got to keep in mind, as fiscally, we cannot afford this contract as being responsible as a North Miami government. So if anybody want to talk or want to chat, that's up to them. But as mayor, I am not going to sit here. These residents who believe me, those who went and cussed me out and said, you know what, we're going to cuss you out, but we're going to believe in what you do. If you say you're going to come back and bring Ms. Terrellis here and we're going to do the job that we do, Mayor, we're going to give you the thing. So that's why I'm saying what I said. There's a lot of people who does not trust what's happening and decision that is being made by people on this council, and they rely on me. And guess what? I have one thing, Ms. Dottie. I'm not rich and I'm nothing, and these people know I'm honest and I have my name. That's all. So that's what I said. That's the story. Anybody could believe it. They could do whatever they want, but I know they know. And I know Jim. That's one of the residents who sit here who bug me, Jesus Christ, day and night, and they all, and most of them are from District 2 and District 4. I'm just going to tell you that, because District 4 already know who I am. They already know how I'm going to vote. They don't even have to call me on an item, because guess what? And they sitting here, they could tell you, they could tell you they hear every meeting. I'm not going to call out the two names. I see my District 4 ladies. If anybody told them and they said, yes, Jim could tell you the mayor's not going to go for this. People already know. So again, I'm willing to work, and I want her to come in, but the 350 is where I am, and she gets all her benefits, but I cannot afford and even say that I'm going to give. I don't want to go down to the details again. I will reserve that, because I honestly, other people may want to do that, but I want to ask this because I don't want to waste any time. It's 8:30. Is my proposal under consideration, or is this thing already cooked in for me to go? Because I do not have the time. Ma'am, Councilwoman, I respect you. You know that. This is for the attorney. I'm not talking to no member of the council, the attorney.
Mr. Mayor, you're talking about making changes that I don't know what you're talking about.
Let me say this to you. There's nothing that you need to know based on this contract. The Councilwoman, the contract that you have in front of you, there's no way as a councilwoman who is voted in this city that you could even entertain it. So that's number one. If you want to do that, that's all. You could do whatever you need to do tonight. I'm talking about Alex DeSume, who put his name out, and people in this audience who called me, text me, and cussed me, and I told them, no, we are doing this. People are coming in. There's no intent. Ms. Terrellis is coming in, and I'll do what I need to do. And I'm still committed to do that. But honestly, tonight, if y'all want to do what y'all want to do, that's your business. I do not care. And I'm going to say it. Again, I said, seriously, 350, we cannot even afford what I'm telling her. What I'm telling her that we'll give her 350, we cannot afford it, but we could make it happen. Because guess what? We have to give it to her. We have to give it to the city attorney. So I already run the numbers. I already know where we are. So again, the 350, and they're ready to fight me on the 350, because I've been getting, and I said to them, please, I think this is good. She will be getting, but how are we saying we giving her? She's asking us for FRS and the MSC, which no managers in history have never get. You get one. So I think if she's going to get tonight, we could go with the FRS, because that's the biggest contribution. I don't want to go into this because I want to do this fairly. That's what I said. I just sent it to her, to the attorney, so the attorney could send it to them. Like I said, if her attorney needs to tell us, if we're not going to, I'm not going to sit here and discuss something that I know and the residents know, because the idea is, despite what you think, all of these employees, people that are watching us on TV and all of this, we are not stupid. It's not the people who's going to vote for this who's the smartest thing. No, everybody sees the writing on the wall. I want to do this right because my conscience, I want to go home tonight and do what I do. However, if I do leave when I do leave, y'all do what y'all do, and she's the manager, I will do what I need to do and work, because my job is not to you guys, it's to the people that have voted for me. I will do what I need to do and represent them the best way I can with what I had. And I want to say to them, if that do happen, I'm sorry for even saying that, because I did not have the intention this was going to go like this. My intention was, yes, we want Ms. Terrellis back. We want somebody with experience that was here prior, despite on how you work with her, because everybody know we didn't have the best relation, but I want her. And I don't mind working with her because, and I said to her, Ms. Terrellis, she asked me, is there anything you need? I said, Ms. Terrellis, I don't need anything but for you to come in and do what you do with the residents. That was it. I don't need nothing else from nobody. People who was here thought Rasha was my friend and this and that. I have talked to Rasha 3 times since she left the city, and she called me twice when my mom was died. That's it. I don't have friends and people who knows me very well. When it comes to my North Miami, as much as I love my mother, she's not my friend, she's not my family. This is the business because I put my hand on the damn Bible. And I'm sorry, I'm using the Bible and cussing. And I don't even cuss. But again, I'm passionate about this because it's serious for the city. I'm willing to do what we do, but we got to do it the way where this is representative for the people of this city. I'm not going to sit here, somebody going to go ahead and call this and do this. No, I did this fairly. I have not talked to anyone. I don't need to talk to anyone. I do this where we are all coming here. There's no way you guys could say, y'all read this contract. Everybody should, that's why I'm saying this as the mayor, and I don't know where people are, because it doesn't make no sense. But it's her right. And I'm not faulting her for doing right. But I want to see, and I want to ask my colleagues, where are we? Are we negotiating, or are we giving the city away to whatever that we think? That's all. And if not, I know we have a full agenda. We don't need to be here. That's what I was suggesting. If we could put this last, everybody was here at the meeting, but people already didn't even, they said, no, let's do it now. So because I know, and I already said, because I prayed. And God tell me, if this is not going the right way, you don't need to be part of this shit. Excuse my French. No, this is real. And I'm serious. So again, Mr. Attorney or Miss Tarlis Attorney, are you guys going to negotiate with this, or you guys have it set? Because I do not have time. It's 8:36. And I love all you guys, but this is getting serious. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. May I?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I don't think anybody has approached this with a lack of seriousness.
You say we have not approached this with a lack of what?
I'll repeat.
Please repeat.
I don't think anyone has approached this with a lack of seriousness.
What do you mean by that?
It's specifically because of our seriousness that we pull the item from the last agenda in June.
Daddy, let me say this to you.
But you asked me, so I'm
I know,
trying to
ma'am,
answer.
but let me say this
I'm
and
listening.
respectfully, and I'm going to listen to you.
Yes, sir.
And because I don't want to get, these people know how passionate I could get. And listen, we did, Daddy, I do not have time, and I know you don't. And I honestly, and I swear to you, if we being faithful, you know exactly, you know. And I'm being serious. If you saying tonight that after we talked, you thought that you revising this, that was being serious, let me go over the term that you are proposing to us as a city and let the public decide what is serious and what is not. And that will be the end of that, and y'all could do whatever you guys want to do. So let's go.
Did you want me to answer your question?
You already did. You told me we don't take it seriously.
No, you cut me off before I could finish what I was
Please
saying.
go ahead.
I can complete what I
Yes,
was about
please,
to say?
ma'am. Yes, please.
All right.
Please.
So you
And I
said-
apologize if I cut you off. Go ahead.
I appreciate the apology. You said quite a few things. And I'm going to try to address the most salient points. Each of you had various concerns from the beginning of the contract, even before we got to the initial contract in June. We've had discussions, and this version is the version.
We need. I want.
So what do you want?
No.
Sure.
Because I don't really too much concern about my colleague, what they have and whatever, because I don't know what you're at. All I ask.
But you're subject to sunshine, so this is your
That's
only
what I'm saying. I don't care. That's what I said. I don't care what they. That's what I. Listen, Rep, and I know you've probably seen these meetings, and the residents will tell you, this was not supposed to go, and it don't have to go like that. All I ask you is something very simple, and I'm gonna say it again.
I hear you, and I'm trying to answer your
just
question.
Answer it, that's all, because
the item that is proposed,
yes, ma'am,
is what has been published to the public, both online and wherever else the city publishes their notices. That is what we're here to vote on today, with the exception of the errors that we identified with the attorney earlier.
Thank you so much.
That was trying to take into the account of most of the feedback, and I'm going to stop there. But that is the intent: is not to negotiate from the dais, but to address that in between last time to now, and to vote on what you have before you today. That is the intent.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, to the residents, let me say this. You all know me for over 2 decades, or more than 2 decades, but in terms of serving here for over 10 years. And you all could make your own what you heard as the counsel for the incoming city manager. And I said to you, honestly and publicly, that I thought we were doing this in a good, faithful way. But you said to me that after we had our conversation and you got everything from my council people, that you think, and I'm gonna just say this and let them, because we all already know this is where we are, and we'll take it from there. Our current city manager salary is, and you could correct me, I know you may have a big raise, is 252 or 297. Which one do we know? Angela, somebody?
It's 267.
267. So whatever, Jeff. Okay. So Mr. Theralis, the contract that we have is 350.
And her current salary is 341 at the county.
Yes, I mentioned that from the beginning in terms of that, and that's what I say when I mentioned to her when I work with her. That was the reason that I said the 350, which I know, and we already got some emails and stuff that was going. But I said I would politically, hey, it is what it is. So that's that. The biggest thing that I had was the retirement. The contract, which FRS contribution are paid, the city's 10% into that, into the city manager's MICA account. So CMI, yes, ICMIA, CMA. The charter officers have always gotten 10% contribution, but now that's both. So my proposal is only one. You don't trying to get, because we've never done that. Secondly, the health insurance.
At the county, she currently receives both.
I'm not talking about
just sharing that.
I understand. Listen, ma'am, and this is what I said. I cannot compare the county and us as a city, and that's what I say. If I knew that,
But if you're trying to recruit her from the county, that is the comparator.
well, that is good, but that's what I said. I did not know that.
No, that's fine.
These
So
comparisons-
since we're because
Okay,
your colleagues,
rep, stop. Please stop. Thank you
stopping.
so much. This is not a back and forth. I understand I'm making my statement and I'm leaving. You could have whatever that you want to do. This is not a back and forth.
Mayor, I just had one clarification.
Ma'am, you're going to run the meeting. You're going to run it.
No, I just had one clarification. You said the ICMA, that has never been done before. I was told that it was.
Listen, I'm talking about the both.
No. I'm asking the CFO because I was informed that it was the ICMA.
The ICMA it's always been done.
It's always been there in the city, correct?
Yes.
The ICMA and the FRS.
Not the FRS.
Well, the FRS is because that's our new pension plan, correct? So it has to be there. You can't change either or, the ICMA or the FRS. I just want to clarify that.
I'll refer to the city attorney.
Currently, the charter officers only receive 10% contribution to the ICMA account. Neither charter officer is a participant in the city's FRS plan.
Or the Singerman. So
correct.
Neither. Okay.
Yes, so that, and again, and I was willing, when I heard that, I said, okay, since she's coming from the county, I would assume, which is more, would be the FRS contribution, so I know that might go there. The health insurance, charter officers, I've always gotten, which I researched and did what I needed to do. The proposed from the city, all insurance reimbursement for the eligible, the city manager should receive the same benefits as the city employees and the director. She wants, that's the big thing with the health insurance. Vacation, and we talked about the vacation, where we are in terms of, what happened, and this remained the same, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, the vacation up to 80 hours of time valued. Notice of termination, a big thing. Again, we coming here, nobody this started, it's like, hey, I don't know nobody who's coming in to work for us and where you're thinking that you want to go, and then if you do go, the contract length that requires the 30-day notice regularly, it's now for 90 days. So that would be us against our own interests. Severance package call for the maximum amount of package under the Florida law is 20 weeks, et cetera, et cetera. Traditionally where we are, but now you see what we are Xing. The other big thing is the legal fees and the fees if we fire her or something that we get to pay, the fees before. All of these crazy thing. That's why when we had our conversation, I didn't go into details with all of that because I would assume I said everything I'm okay with, and this is what I said inconsistently. I'm okay with the contracts where it was. With is these extra other things that are added. And when I asked before that, if these were not costing any money, I would not, and I want people to know, I would have no problem with it. But we are negotiating something for her and our city attorney, so you got to double whatever that we agreed to, and we got to make sure if we double that in the term, we have 3 years. She had asked for 5, and when you send it back, you ask for 4. So you think that's a negotiation from where we are? That's like we talked about one thing, and you just kept. And at that time, I felt like, okay, maybe she just had the vote. She's wasting my time. I don't have time for this. So from the money side, in terms of where we are and why this is a problem for me tonight, and they could do at the 350 where we are, which we don't have. I think the total analysis from the package that we are would be around $400 and something thousand total. That's not everything. So if you do that, you're almost at $900,000 with the two folks. But that's with my current proposal of 350 and everything remained the same. It's still a big bump. And then where we go, it almost increased to almost $200 and something thousand as it is right now, which is almost a whole bunch of money. And I won't even go to the numbers in that. So again, I want to say thank you, Rep, in terms of what we do. Councilman Burns, I do not have time for what we do. You have a wonderful day, and we do. And I wish the best of luck to whatever's coming, because I don't have time. I really don't. And I think the residents, they understand, they see. Because what is it that I'm sitting here to negotiate and waste my time and this and that, and people will do whatever? I don't have time for that, sir. If you want to do that, you have a wonderful day.
Mr. Wait a minute.
No, sir.
Okay. Madam Vice Mayor.
One moment. You have the floor.
Thank you. Ms. Joseph, can you come to the podium?
Would you like me to address anything? Or
no.
No.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm going to speak on my behalf on the contract, what my thoughts and feelings are on it as we move forward. I made one suggestion a couple weeks ago to Brett, and it was politely sent back to me that the contract wasn't that much of negotiation that could happen with this particular contract. As far as the way I'm looking at this contract, this is just something that happens to be on the city agenda that is being proposed by you that has never been dissected by us as individuals, because we've never had the chance to discuss it. We've never had an executive session. So this is the first chance I'm going to get. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. They shouldn't be difficult. And then a couple of the areas that I have concern. Do you know what her package is going to cost the city as you all propose it, her salary each year, starting year one?
I believe that would be a question for your CFO. I can identify the specific terms that various members had issues with, and I can
Your
tell you
client
those numbers.
is coming in as the city manager. She should know in advance what her salary is going to cost the city year one. Since you don't have it, I have it. It's $608,000, $205.50. 58 cents is the cost of her package with benefits and so forth, excluding $97,000 worth of annual leave, 3 weeks of sick leave, 4 weeks of annual leave, and then the 96 hours of upfront money. So her first year is going to cost the city approximately $798,000 is the cost to the city and our liability. So my question is, going to term number 4, she asked for a 4-year contract where city managers in the past have gotten a 3-year contract with 1-year additional additions each year, renewable at the behest of the city council.
Would you like me to address that? Because it's currently indefinite with the county.
Okay, I'm not I'm talking about North Miami.
Right, I
She'll
understand,
have-
and you're recruiting her from there.
I'm
So
not.
I'm just
I'm
asking,
not.
do you want me to just listen, or do you want me to address them as you go through them?
I want to ask questions.
Okay.
And to
So I'll wait for the
hopefully
question.
get to, no, I have several of them. So the question was, in term number 4, it says that her contract automatically renewed without any, it just automatically renews. Where I would propose that 90 days prior to the expiration of that term, that the city council will approve to renew that contract. It just doesn't happen automatically. It needs approval from the city council. Also, as what has happened in the past, we've had 3-year terms, which I think is suffice, because this is a glorified prenup agreement. This is not about her skills. She has the skills to be the city manager. I'm not concerned about the $350,000. That's not the biggest issue I have, because I know what she's making at the county and what other managers are making around town. What I'm concerned about is the the prenup when things are not going well. That's the biggest concerns I have. So in term number 4 is I would prefer to see a 3-year as opposed to a 4-year, and that 90 days prior to this contract expiring, the city council will make a decision at that point in time whether to renew it or not, and it would not be automatically. Going at the bottom of paragraph item 5, the annual base salary, she wants a minimum of the 3%, which I would suggest equal to whatever the general employees increase would be, that's what the manager or senior managers get. It would be the managers that. I agree with the comment that it is just FRS or ICMA. I think it's wiser to take the FRS since it's a much greater contribution. Going down to item number 11, sick annual holiday leave. It is, you want it up front loaded. Nobody else ever gets it, but you know what? That's not a deal breaker to front load the sick and the annual accrued leave. But she's coming in at a higher number, even though it was 5 weeks, went to 4 weeks. 3 weeks of sick and 3 weeks of vacation would be something that I believe would be compatible with the city and compatible with other people who work within the city. Also, the cap of the 9 weeks, I would actually have it at the cap of 7 weeks that this term would be. And then number 14, professional development, there's a clause in there as approved by what the city annual budget would be. It's just highlighted as far as what the city council will approve in that annual budget. And as far as termination, she wants 90 days notice for termination. Our city charter and some of our other previous city managers were never given that luxury. They were given the 30-day notice, and most of the time when they were fired, they were suspended at that time, and then the termination kicked in 30 days later. So as far as 3 months notice that you're going to be fired and that we would have to keep you around, most likely within those 3 months, if the council is willing to fire somebody, obviously they don't want them working day to day, so they will stay home earning a paycheck for 3 months. So that's a concern. I like that fact that you guys corrected the scribbler error on number 16 as far as the termination. And again, termination without cause on section 1, no contribution to IMCA. And also in termination without cause by the city, section 4, you asked that if the state statute changed from 20 weeks, an increase as far as severance package goes. I see no reason we're entering into an agreement today, possibly, to what the current state statute is. And if it should increase, I do not believe we have to increase it at that time, 20 weeks right now. most likely the legislature is not about to increase severance pay for local politicians to begin with. Getting toward the end, the termination for good reason is kind of open-ended of what that description should be, which means that if I at a community meeting says I'm disappointed in the manager, and then another council member at another meeting says they're disappointed on the direction of the city, and then another council person, not even at a council meeting, says that they're not happy with the manager, that the manager upon themselves can claim that they are being terminated, and it would be their decision. Let's go on to under general provisions. I would like the provision that the city has a right to purchase a life insurance policy on the city manager, and we will retain all funds from that policy, because the payout is into the hundreds of thousands of dollars if the city manager should pass away. So I'm sure she should not have a problem if the city took out a life insurance policy to protect us. Okay, well, these are my suggestions. Okay, and go.
Let him finish, please.
Under number 24, reimbursement for legal fees and expenses in the event that any legal proceedings should be brought to enforce the terms of this agreement, or for the city's breach of this agreement, then the city shall pay all reasonable attorney fees and so forth. And you want us to pay her attorney fees monthly, yet we had not been decided in a court of law whether we were wrong or she was wrong. So I would say reasonable fees as directed by the court and not on a monthly payment. So the severance, so what our situation is on the exit package, on the divorce, because when everything's going well, it's all kumbaya, but it's the divorce that's going to be the nasty part. So we would have a 3 months notice. Most likely the manager would get suspended, so she gets 3 months of pay, full salary. Then the 5 months severance package, which now makes it 8 months of salary. And then there's a clause in there that even though we fired you, you may think we want to keep you around for another 3 months at minimum to be a transition consultant at full salary, full pay. So that's 11 months of pay to get a divorce. So that means I got to tell you that we're getting a divorce, wait 3 months, then get the divorce, and then I still got to hang around with you after that 5 months for another 3 months. A payout at today's...
Councilman, do you still have more questions? Because I want to open up public...
Well, I'm trying to get the attention of her attorney, but I guess...
Yeah, no, but if we have questions...
Okay, I'm almost done.
Okay.
The severance package, if the severance package would cost us $1.1040 if we fired the city manager, with all the benefits and all the clauses that are in this particular contract, $1,140, and that's what it would cost. Annual salary of $608,000 as proposed, going up to $660,000 in year 4. I don't think we can afford it. I would like to see Teresa come, but we need to plan the exit strategy a little bit more so when the divorce does happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. And if my colleagues would do you guys have questions for discussion now, or can I open up public hearing to allow the public to state to give theirs? Okay, public hearing is now open on the item. There is 2 mics. Public hearing is now open on the item.
Good evening, Vice Mayor Timothy, Jim Garrett. Currently 247 Brittany, Delray Beach, Florida, 33446. As of January 1st, 2026, 11610 North Bayshore Drive, hopefully Unit 2A, North Miami. I'm coming back home. I want to die here. I'm going to come home, retire, and die here. Thank you. Let me go over the manager's we hired Larry Spring in February 24, 2016 at 2:20. It went a 3-2 vote, your boss, your former boss. And we dismissed him and we gave him a fair package in January 2020 of 260. Teresa, that came in, and I want to put a smile on your face. You did do a good job because you cut that deficit down to 1.3, and then you used ARP money at $5 million, and you took a capital assessment. So we posted our first budget surplus at 6.5. And she got hired on a 5-0 vote at 252. However, there were disagreements, and we know where, okay? We're not going to hang out or dirty laundry. We did that at the last meeting, and I got phone calls from friends, and they said, I thought you were making this stuff up in Chicago and Palm Springs. I wasn't. Russia, Camo, and I was friends with Russia. I won't disclose that. 252, and her salary was 323. First, it was a 3-2, but when we did the contract, it was unity, 5-0, and I appreciate that. However, when she left, I was only off $1. Remember, Jeff makes the same, and I was only off 1,000. I said Jeff was at 266, 267. So since Jeff is now our oldest city attorney, past Joe Weil. So the point of this is the extras. There's too much extras.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Medina?
Alina Medina, 1270 Northeast, 124th Street. Thank you, Councilman Burns, for your explanation of the contract. I think the President of the United States makes basic salary $400,000. And I think this is extreme. Yeah, the packet is too rich, and we cannot afford that. Being also that the city attorney will get the same benefit package and salary, we need to look at this up, and I hope that you please not go through with this and vote no. Thank you.
Claudia Pasmino, 13504 Northeast 23rd Place. Everybody has a smartphone. People at home can go on your computers. I do not see where a city manager makes this much. I just Googled it. The average is definitely less than $200,000 a year. I believe the governor of the state of Florida only makes not even 200. So I don't understand why our city manager has to make even 200,000 a year. The city of Miami Gardens, they have a total residents of 111,000 residents. We have 64,000 residents. Their city manager does not even make 200,000. The city, as most, well, that's what I just Googled. Okay, so maybe he does make more, but again, we only have 64,000 residents. We have so much need in the city. I've been to town hall meetings. A lot of residents are asking for more police officers, so she gets $100,000 more, so does the city attorney. That's $200,000. That's like 3 police officers that the city could use yearly. And she gets 3% automatically, regardless if she's doing a good job or not. And I do agree that I don't know if the current city employees get 3% automatically, but they should. And again, if you guys really care about your residents, because you guys became council because you wanted the best for the city, we trusted you, those that voted for you guys, why are you doing this? Doesn't make sense. The city needs so much. There's so much you can do with the money. I do not understand why the salary has to be so high.
Good evening, Randy Grice, President of Sunkist Grove Neighborhood Association, 40 Northwest, 124th Street, North Miami, Florida. Public service, fiscal responsibility. There's been conversations on both sides of this item, and I can appreciate both sides. In public service, fiscal responsibility is big. People have expectations, residents have expectations. I'm one of them. So in this decision, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, I just encourage you to keep fiscal responsibility in mind when making this decision. Thank you.
Good evening, Hernando Barreto, 11930 North Bayshore Drive. There are a lot of issues that concerns on this conversation. First is clear that this has not been real negotiation. Second, as it has been said, no city manager in Miami-Dade County is making that amount of money. The salary for, as somebody mentioned, for the governor of Florida is less than 150. Even for the president of the United States, the salary is $400,000 a year. Then we may want to have the CEO of JP Morgan to run our city, but we just cannot afford it. Then, with all respect for Ms. Teresa, she's making so much money in the county. I think she should reconsider and stay there. And I understand that we have received more than 90 applications, and I don't know how many people was interviewed. And I guess that there should be other good candidates that could fit the position in our budget. This is a very expensive proposition. The city is not that big. We don't have that amount of money. And as it has been mentioned, that have a triggering effect because that increase automatically, without being even discussion about it, the salary for the city attorney. Then this is not reasonable for the city of North Miami. We appreciate Ms. Teresa for proposing for the job, but I think we shouldn't hire her. And I am concerned for the legal counsel or the person that is representing here, apparently is our state representative. Should be a conflict there.
Thank you, Mr. Hernando.
Thank you.
Veronica Guzman, 540 Northwest 127th Street. I'm going to echo what Hernando was trying to say. I clearly think it's a conflict of interest that our state representative, who's supposed to be serving the best interest of our district, District 108, is clearly serving the best interests of Ms. Theralis. She resigned in early 2023. She left as other city employees before her to go to the county. Now that position is set to be up for elimination. So I don't know how comfortable she exactly is there at the county. This puts the city in a better position to negotiate the terms of her contract. My question and my concern is when she left, the compensation package that she got back then. I urge the council to go back and renegotiate the terms of this contract or start interviewing all of those other applicants. This new city manager should not be able to receive in any circumstance upon resignation or termination a payout of quote unquote accrued holiday or sick pay, as these days have not in all fairness been accrued. She didn't earn them. If she is terminated with cause, she should not be entitled to a severance package, which I believe has already been addressed. It has already been brought to light that whatever the city manager will get paid, then the city attorney will be paid that as well. This obviously was not in the already approved budget for the fiscal year. These unplanned and quite frankly extravagant pay raises are ultimately going to come from the community. But then again, we have a $3.5 million surplus. Being fiscally responsible is putting that money back into the community and not into the pockets of the greedy. If you continue to rob from Peter to give to Paul, eventually there will be nothing to give to Paul. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Armelda Zulut. I'm located at 1315 Northeast 137th Street. I heard the debate. I just want to put my point of view with the city manager. I raised tonight the full support of we hiring Teresa Terralis as your city manager and giving her the contract she deserves. When someone has already proven they can lead through tough time, deliver results, and bring stability to our city, why would you bring them back? Teresa did just that. She pulled the city out of financially hole and lead the foundation progress. She's not a gamble. She's a sure thing. As we want the best for our city, we have to show that we value excellence. Asking her to return and clean up things up again is a big ask. If requirement, commitment, energy, sacrifice, she can do it. But leadership like that should be respect and competence accordingly. This is not just about contract. It's about setting tone that North Miami value result, loyalty, and integrity. Teresa Terelis has all that. Let's bring her back and give her the tool and support to keep moving us forward. Thank you.
Eileen Bicaba, 13350 Northeast 3rd Court. Ms. Thorelis, well, I am not putting anything against her background and her education. Was here 2 years ago and left without a payout without working. Now we are being asked again to rehire her on the new deal that is millions of dollars when you count all the years and the match to the city attorney. That includes guaranteed raises without earning them, irrespective of how she performs, retirement contributions, monthly perks, nearly double what many city managers in South Florida earns. This isn't about one person, it's about broken pattern. When North Miami has an average of one city manager per year, we are almost guaranteed to have to go through that divorce. During Ms. Thorelis' last tenure, the city erased a $14 million deficit, but let's be honest, it was not through cost cutting or structural reform. It was COVID relief money and a one-time land sale. Any manager in the seat would have been able to end up with that balanced budget. Meanwhile, key projects stalled, infrastructure deteriorated, morale from staff and the public hit new lows. Despite all this, the city received nearly 90 applications and did not interview a single person. What is it you said when you fired Rasha Kamor last year? There was no process. Where is the process here? North Miami is paying Cadillac prices for civic results. We are about to lock ourselves into another expensive arrangements without competition, without transparency, without accountability. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir?
Good evening. Good evening. Dietrich Val, 14295 Northwest 7th Avenue. I'd like to urge the council that we can't engage in selective spending. We can't be penny wise and pound foolish. We have someone who is uniquely qualified to manage the city. I don't think we should be bargain shopping. We can't compare her salary to city managers in the past, that had no experience. Teresa is proven. In this life, you get what you pay for. We pay 7 figures for festivals in the city, even paying $150,000 for one artist to perform for 20 minutes, $250,000 for lobbyists and consultants. I urge these residents to please stop being hypocritical and having selective outrage for something that's so important. Thank you.
Debbie Davis, you have the floor.
One person. Hi, everybody. Councilwoman Timothy, I can't quite see you, but hi. Deborah Davies, 1165 Northeast 127th Street. So I'm going to say a few things some other people have said. I understand that 90 people applied for the city manager job, and that some of them were very highly qualified. But you did not interview any of them, and instead simply offered the job to Ms. Theralis. According to GovSalaries.com, out of 42 city managers in Florida, the average city manager earns $184,000 per year, and the highest paid city manager of all in Miami Beach earns $297,000 per year. Why are you offering Ms. Theralis this outrageous salary, which is more than the other highest paid city manager in Florida? On top of this huge salary, you're offering Ms. Theralis an extraordinarily generous benefits package. And I also understand that the city attorney will receive a $100,000 raise to match the salary of the new city manager. So what are you going to do to cut back on this to balance the books and cover all these extra costs? Are you ready to give up your lavish parties, the $1 million centennial, international travel, and very generous expense accounts? If not, what are you asking the people of North Miami to give up? the water plant, new infrastructure for all this new development. All this money has to come from somewhere. I have heard that Ms. Theralis did a very good job balancing the books last time around, but she used COVID money to do that. So that money is no longer there. What do you expect Ms. Theralis or any new city manager to do to earn this unprecedented salary and benefits? Or are you just cutting Ms. Theralis in on the generous compensation packages you keep awarding yourselves so that she will share your interest in running the city this way? I hope you really know that we're all watching. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Public hearing is now closed. Oh, last one. Oh, two more. If you would like to speak on this item, please come forward. There's seats up front. Thank you.
Good evening, Hector Medina, 1270 Northeast 124th. I mean, the contract, I congratulate Mr. Ilias and Ms. Joseph. It's a great contract for her. I have never seen a better contract in my life that somebody's getting. And I take my hat out of them, and and that's fine. We cannot afford this. There is no way. We cannot afford this whatsoever. It is, as much as I like Mr. Ilias, and I spoke with her before she left, she did a good job. It's the city of Miami, the North Miami cannot afford that salary. It's very simple. Except for people that are not familiar with the salary range in the state of Florida, particularly in South Florida. As much as the majority of your constituents are against this. So normally people don't watch these meetings, and normally they don't know what's going on in the city, but I can assure you, I will make sure that everybody on District 3 and 2, and as far as I can go on 4, learn about what you're doing here tonight. It's not that we're watching, we're going to share it. Good night.
Womelito Charles, 14150 Northwest 6th Court, North Miami. It's very important, the one thing that I noticed about almost everybody that speak, they mentioned that Ms. Teresa did a good job last time she was there. So if she did a good job last time she was there, why not decide to pay somebody that know the job already and that did a good job back then, more than $14 million. COVID, yes, but we already know that she did a good job. So we cannot afford to get other people to interview other people, yet we already have somebody that can do the job. It doesn't make no sense. And then we pay more than $250,000 in consultant from other people. The city will save all that. So if somebody is qualified for the job, just make sure we get the person that can do the job to do the job, instead of being, cheap. That don't make no sense.
Good evening, Council. Robert Holland with offices at 3250 Northeast 1st Avenue, Miami, Florida. I've worked in and around government for over 30 years, and I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I know how the ugly and the bad have happened. And typically it's been because of very, very poor leadership and an unwillingness to invest in the right people to help run a city. Dr. Therilis, who obviously a Harvard-trained lawyer, executive experience that's just unheard of for a city manager position, comes to you with great credentials, more than probably any city manager in the state of Florida. She definitely will be in the top 10 in credentials in the state of Florida, if not probably even nationwide. And so when you have an opportunity to take a first-round draft pick, you take it. You can sit and complain about the numbers. The numbers are made up in the leadership. When you hire a city manager, it's not a city attorney. The city attorney deals with some of the legal matters and they have a smaller staff. A city manager manages all of the staff. That is your head coach. That is the person that is running your operation. That is the one who has to motivate that team, has to inspire that team, has to crack a whip, has to also give rewards to that team to get people to work as a team. when you keep changing city managers, you create an inefficient city. Businesses run from doing business with cities who don't have steady leadership. They run from you. So every time you change a city manager, someone who comes with credentials say, you know what? I don't know if I'm willing to take that job because you guys change city managers every 2 years because of politics. You need to make a commitment to a city manager that's willing to stand in with you and fight to do the things that you want done and be willing to invest in that person. And when you do that, it will cost you to bring the right people in. There are people who would do this and it will cost you way more money.
Thank you, Mr.
But you have a
Holland.
proven talent. You need to take it.
Thank you, Mr. Holland. And I will take it back up here to our colleagues. Councilman Burns, you've already spoken. Councilman Charles, do you have comments?
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. Good evening, residents. Mrs. Fairless, Mr. Brett, who has done a good job working on behalf of the city and making sure that we are moving. And working together, you are never gonna have everything that you desire. You have to meet halfway. That's the law of nature. You have to work together. I do believe in selecting Mrs. Terrelis as our city manager. The mayor has done a great job. And our mayor said it, and I quote, that I am okay with the $350,000 because she's making about the same amount at the county. And the mayor know exactly who is coming. Someone who can lead. Oftentimes, when attending HOA's meeting, the question is always who's leading the city. And one of the person who spoke earlier, they said, you got what you paid for. We need to have a coach, and we know we pay the coach X amount of money who is going to lead the team and make sure that we win the championship that we the city of North Miami deserve. But not hiring a coach for $50,000 less, and then who's gonna hire another coach? You're paying double. We need to understand this is a different time. This is a different city. We need strong leadership. There is a cost for everything. Basically, what we are discussing tonight or talking about, all the grievances are about the little lines, but the mayor said it. He's okay with the $350,000. He said it. And listen, and bringing back Mrs. Fairless from the county, we have everything. We have a leader. We have someone who can stand and lead the city to the next level. Understand that with the high rate of turnaround that we have in the city, anyone with his or her state of mind coming in here need to make sure that we have some clause in there just to make sure that we okay and we can move forward. The idea is that I am not gonna bring myself into the fire, and if I don't see a way out, I will be foolish. That's why you have certain clause in there, because it is life. You have to make sure that you come into a place that you know that has a high turnaround, so you're making sure that we understand. So now we have a contract. The idea is for us to start serving the resident with the right intent and not taking the dictate from the small interest group. We just start basically against everything. So now you just go ahead and pay $250,000, for example, for a city manager from anywhere. And then next you're gonna have to pay another $250,000 for a consultant to lead, are you saving money? The math and mathing. We have to understand, and I'm gonna say it again, you pay for what you get. You want true leadership, you want us to move the city forward, we have to invest in the quality and the great leadership that would keep us afloat. We cannot keep on making the same mistake. And I know, every time they're just talking about the past. But the past is dead. It's time for us to talk about tomorrow, the future, the city that we want to have. And with that, Madam Vice Mayor, I'll move for approval.
Councilman, let me allow Councilwoman Mary Estime Urban.
Thank you. I'll
If you have
second that.
brief-
I'll second that, but I'd like to make some comments on the record. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone that took a part of this process, all of the residents that are coming to share their concern for and against. I just want to clear some things because sometimes my colleagues speak. I think some of them speak out of turn, and I just want to make sure that my residents, the people that have trusted me to vote, to support, and to move for this city. Believe it or not, I too was very concerned about the salary. But then when I analyze some of our expense, some of our monies, like it's been mentioned several times tonight, when we had a former manager, not Annabelle Emmanuel, that was making 250 plus, then we had a consultant that we added to that to help out. Then when we have festivals that are costing us over $600,000 for 3 weekends, we have artists that you heard that we've paid for $150,000, and then now we're going to pretend or we're going to make noise about paying someone a salary of $350,000 a year, for over 12 months. Like one of my colleagues said, please look at the real numbers. And I respect your opinions, and I just want to make sure you have all the information that when you're coming here and I know that you're getting some information from some of us, but you need to get all of the numbers. And I appreciate your fiscal care because I too, believe it or not, and we may disagree on what needs to be spent. But I'm very conscious and very concerned about how we spend our dollars. But please, if you're talking about $350,000 and then we are spending $500,000 for a festival, we're spending thousands more dollars on consultants and other things. And sometimes those consultants are needed. I don't want to say that consultants are not needed. Sometimes they specialize in certain things, and so we need that. And then more importantly, my reason to support this incoming manager is, number one, she's a resident of the city of North Miami. Number two, she's a Howard graduate. Number three, even more importantly, she's the prior city manager that a lot of you, even though you are concerned, which is fair, have stated over and over her leadership during the pandemic. And yes, she did use Harper money, but it just shows you that in a pandemic or in a situation, what could be done when we were, in fact, in a deficit. And we are, the North Miami, maybe you were not realizing it, but we are one of the top 10 cities in Miami-Dade County. We are a large city. And so there's a lot of things that we have to do. And so, and more, another thing is this city manager has the relationships with a lot of the regional, with the county, with the state, on the federal levels that we need to find those dollars to deal with the infrastructure, to deal with a lot of the other things, flooding and what we're dealing with. So I'm very comfortable, voting for this item tonight, and here are the reasons why. And like I've stated before, so I just want my residents that have faith in me, and for you that I know that are generally concerned, so you can actually look at the numbers, understand the numbers, and why we're spending it the way that we are. Thank you so much for my time.
Thank you, Councilwoman, and I will give my very brief remark because I know tonight has been long, and I'll ask the council to give her closing remarks as well. Ms. Teresa Thorellis, I know, well, we have a very peculiar relationship. I think when we first started, it was a bit bumpy because I, too, am a public administrator. And I just kind of want to clear some things that I heard on the record today as it relates to her salary. We have several city managers in the city of Miami within the Miami-Dade County region that makes way over $300,000, some of the tune to $500,000 because of the quantity of work that they have to put on. And we have to realize here in our city, we're definitely at a crossroad. We have huge projects that we have to lift between, we talked about speed bumps, we talked about the P3, we talked about Northwest 7th Avenue, and there's a lot of things that are happening in this city. But Mr. Rillis, I do want to take a moment to thank you publicly, because I don't think the public is aware of the work that you have done for us, even when you were not our city manager, because I know some folks said that you got paid and you didn't work. No, Mr. Rillis is still working for North Miami up until today. If we have, well, today we have $3.68 million additional in our budget, and that is thanks to Ms. Theresa Torellis. We worked hand in hand to renegotiate that TIF agreement with the CRA, with Annabelle Emanuel, and we have an additional $3.68 million in our budget today because of this individual. So when you have folks coming back to the city and they know the work, they can do the work, we have to give them their flowers. And I've told every single city manager, if you need to hire 5 deputies, 4 assistant city manager, do what you need to do to get the job done. Because I understand that this work that you have to do, especially in North Miami, it is not easy. And that's why you see every administrator that has left this city has gone on to greater. They're in Orange County. They're in the city of Miami, because North Miami, believe it or not, gives you the best training, I would say, throughout the Miami-Dade County. So in order to get her back, we have to pay. And I echo the same sentiments that my colleague says about where we put our dollars to, whether it's events, whether it's, traveling or whatever the case may be. If we have to spend this money, just know that you're going to see the output, because you have $3.68 million in your budget today because of this woman right here. And so my question through the manager to the CFO is, can we afford the amount that's being proposed today? No.
No.
No, she can go right there.
No,
you can go ahead.
Okay. Through the city manager, Angela Reyes, chief financial officer. Yes, we do. We are early enough in our budget process where we can make those accommodations through the direction of the council and the city manager.
Thank you. And at this time, I would like to invite Ms. Dottie Joseph. If you have closing remarks, I know there was questions asked of you. If you can now address them, and then we'll vote.
I appreciate that, Madam Acting Mayor. So there's been a lot said here today. So I want to address it in terms of addressing some of the comments that I heard, some of the questions that I received, and then just bringing us back to earth. So Theresa Torellis is not just anybody. And she did not come to you all. In fact, the mayor stood there and said that he went to her. And the reason he went to her, according to his own testimony, was because he wanted stability. And the reason that most of you, when I talk to you, want her back is because she did an excellent job. One of the things that I have argued for throughout my career as an attorney is for just pay. Out of law school, after I clerked, one of the first things I did was litigate employment discrimination class actions all around the United States, some of which went all the way up to the Supreme Court, fighting for equality of opportunity and pay. In my political life, one of the things we fought for is so that people earn enough income with dignity, whether it's the fight for 15 that a lot of my colleagues did not want, and you just want it to be fair. And somebody mentioned something about paying a Cadillac price for a Civic. Well, no, we're talking about a Maybach. And if you don't know what a Maybach is, maybe you could look it up. But this is a Rolls Royce, not a Cadillac. She is a whole Harvard-trained lawyer. She is a well-seasoned public administrator, and she knows what she's doing. Not only does she know what she's doing, she's worked for this exact city. Do you know how rare that is to find somebody like that? I have served as a hiring manager. I have hired people, I have supervised people, I have served on hiring committees, I have advised people in their hiring, and if you find a really good candidate that you've already worked with, I can give you a handful of people that I would hire back tomorrow if I could. Teresa's one of those people, and I believe your council knows that, and many of your residents know that. So, yesterday's price is not today's price, to quote someone. When she was here the first time, I heard references to her prior salary. That's completely irrelevant because that's before she got here, right? So then that was that time. Now she is comfortable at the county. I heard somebody said something about her position being eliminated. Funny thing is, you need to have context and know what you're talking about. So she switched departments because they're fighting over her at the county because she's that good. And when she moved to her new department, she got a raise. As somebody who's been in and around the city for a number of years, decades, sat on that dais in different council groups that I participated in, not as the elected official, but as on one of the boards, I have seen people come and go. And as staff, I understand and appreciate and still get triggered by the indignities that staff has to endure listening to some things that come from the dais. And I want you to understand that everybody is a person, is a human being, and should be treated with dignity, whether they sit on that dais here or don't even show up at the meeting. Everybody deserves respect. And I think that needs to be reflected not just in how we communicate with people, but how we identify and value the service that they bring. It is absurd that we would even have to try to tell you why you should give her at least what she's making at the county in terms of these other benefits. I heard a comment made about you're not getting the ICMA and other retirement benefits. I will tell you that is standard practice in a lot of places throughout the county. I myself received that when I was in the city attorney's office at the city of North Miami Beach. It is not unusual. And I regret that some of us may be unfamiliar with that, but to the extent that that makes a difference, I'm just putting that out there. It's not unusual. You get what you negotiate for. And I encourage people to negotiate. There are plenty of men in Miami-Dade County who make way more than what she's asking for. Do the men get the same slack as the woman? I don't know, but we're here to find that out today. She's more than worth it. And I'll just close with this. And I don't know if she even fully wants me to share this, but people often call me and ask me for advice. Sometimes in my capacity as a lawyer, sometimes in my capacity as an elected official, sometimes in my capacity as a friend. I will be candid in telling you that I disadvised her from taking this job, specifically for the circus that I saw here today. Because if we're being professional, how you negotiate things is you negotiate them. You sit down, you have a discussion. You don't sandbag things an hour or two before the meeting or the night before the meeting when the whole thing was postponed from June 10th to now to do that. That is quite frankly disrespectful.
Thank you, Representative. At this moment, it was motion and second, Madam Clerk.
I have a motion made by Councilman Charles to approve the item at tab G. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estime Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Oppose.
The item passes with a 3-1 vote.
Tab H.
Tab I, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami approving a housing grant award in the amount of $60,000 to be utilized toward emergency roof repairs at the property located at 2105 Exora Road. Further authorizing the interim city manager to take any and all action necessary to effectuate the necessary repairs, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab I.
I think this item is very self-explanatory. This is the blue tarp roof in Keystone. I know this is something that we've had discussions and settlements about. I know, Councilwoman, it's your item. I don't know if you wanted to say anything, or I can just go right into public hearing.
You can go into public hearing.
Public hearing is now open on the item. Tab I, public hearing is now open on the item. Tab I. Speaking for tab I. You might need to go to the other mic. I don't know what's going on with that one.
So much for all the new microphones that we just installed.
We don't have money to fix the microphones.
No, we just did.
We just
We just did.
Okay.
Someone took it off.
Hernando Barreto, 11930. North Bay Shore Drive. I just have a question for the city attorney. I saw that that property was intended to be foreclosed by the city for violations, and the case was closed last year, in November last year, by the court for lack of prosecution. It seems that the hearing was open and the city just not dismissed, but I don't understand what happened. And if we were trying to collect money from that property, why are we now granting money? I understand his situation. I am very empathetic, but is that the way to use the tax money to provide grants? And what happened with that case in court? Why was closed by lack of prosecution?
If you would like, I can speak to that to you, Mr. Hernando. The gentleman was able to get homesteaded on his property. So when you're homesteaded, you can't foreclose the item. And it's not that we're giving him tax money. He actually qualified for some of our housing assistance funds. He refused at the time, but now Mr. Frank Wolin now has power of attorney and can utilize those funds to fix the roof and fix the eyesore that was in the community. Did I do a good job, Mr. City Attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, just to answer your question. Okay, thank you.
I appreciate it.
The public hearing on tab J is closed.
Yes,
Oh, one more. Oh.
And it's tab I.
Is it J? No, it's I.
Veronica Guzman, 540 Northwest 127th Street. I'm all for helping our residents, and I know that this neighbor is in a dire situation. I just have some ongoing concerns. It's not just the roof. Clearly from the pictures, he has ongoing issues with maintaining the property. I don't know if that has to do with his age or with his disability. So my concern is giving this $60,000 and then there are other violations still happening with the property. So I would hope that he is given the proper support that he needs going forward so that he can still stay in his home. Otherwise, we're just throwing money away at this problem when he has bigger issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman, did you want to comment?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, public hearing is not closed.
Thank you, everyone. As our Vice Mayor mentioned, this has been on the books for a very long time since I've got elected. I've always been concerned. As we know, this is hurricane season coming on. He is elderly, 78 years old, a veteran, have served our country honorably. And if some of you may not know me, I come from a military background, and I hold utmost respect for men and women who serve And so this is very concerning, and I'm just so happy. I'm praying that my colleagues would support this, this item, because I really feel, and I've always been concerned that this man needs the help. And now that I know that Frank Woolen has the power of attorney to be able to help and assist, so I'd like to move to motion for us to move this item so that this man can get the help that he needs and be safe in this hurricane season coming up.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estimé Irvin to approve the item at tab I. The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Timothy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The item passes with a 4-0 vote.
I think the councilman had a question for
For Frank?
I want to thank the members of the council for your compassion. This gentleman really is in need, and the city is certainly doing the right thing. Thank you.
Councilman had a question.
Frank, or Mr. Wolin, Mayor Wolin, just a couple quick questions. This problem arose 18 years ago, and I know you've been working with him for the last 4 or 5 years. And now, because you have the power of attorney, will you stay involved to see this completed? Because you are the only one who's been able to guide him, to be kind words, guide him to this. We've been at this point so many times before. I just want to make sure that I'm asking you, will you stay involved?
Yes,
to make sure
I will
come to fruition?
I will absolutely stay involved. Thank you, Councilman.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Tab J, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the interim city manager and city attorney to negotiate and execute a First Amendment to the lease agreement between the City of North Miami as landlord and the Zenith 79 LLC as tenant, modifying the lease terms for the city-owned property located between Northeast 138th Street and Northeast 139th Street and between Northeast 11th Avenue and West Dixie Highway, specifically identified with folio number 06-2219-007-2120, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab J.
One moment. Public hearing is open on tab J.
Hi, good evening. My gift to you is going to be brief. Mike Busy. I'm an attorney. I represent Barbara Dabney, who's making her way up here. Barbara is Barbara's owned property in. She's owned the property adjacent to this, that houses the medical clinic and the flag store for over 30 years. So, Barbara's a over 30-year business owner, always supporting the mayor and council in the city. The medical clinic operating on her property, and her flag store has served the citizens of North Miami for decades. I'm going to not go back and forth with the lawyers. I'm just going to hand the clerk my letter. Barbara has two principal concerns, and that is, setting aside what the lawyers are going to say back and forth, one is going to be that, she and the other owners on the adjacent property use 15 municipal parking spaces, going back decades here. And so, Barbara and the other landowners, they utilize the municipal parking spaces, and they're very concerned that they have not been invited to participate. They had no knowledge of this until they found out from the city this was on the agenda. So 2 points. One, she's concerned about the lack of participation from her and other adjacent landowners who've been around for 30 years, and they're concerned if this goes through, it's going to destroy the value of their property or maybe make it impossible for them to operate, and they'd like to have these concerns addressed. I think it's fair to have her concerns addressed, and after 30 years, if this goes through, it's not going to take away or destroy her ability to operate. Final point, on a policy level, assuming you agree with everything Jeff Kazo said in his letter and disagree with everything in my letter, there's a policy question here, and I'll end on this note. Can I just make my 30 seconds, just to finish?
10 seconds.
No, please allow him to speak as he's the attorney for the applicant.
Okay.
If I could, okay. Then thank you, Jeff. 2 points. One, you just hired a really outstanding manager, Teresa Thurles, who is going to do a phenomenal job as manager. You might want to think about letting her take a look at this and weigh the economics and letting Teresa come in with her team and see whether or not what her view is on this, especially since we know she's going to do a great job and have a lot of respect for her. Aside from giving Teresa a chance to look at this, the final point is that when this was first put forward last month, it said that the whole purpose of this item was to put hundreds of thousands of dollars in the city coffers. In particular, the entire stated purpose of this item was as follows, and I'll read it to you. The sale will generate $441,000 for the city's general fund with no negative value. So this came forward with one purpose and one purpose only when it was brought up last month, and that is the taxpayers were promised the property would be sold to this one particular applicant, and you would generate at least $441,000, which you could certainly use to offset other expenses. And that was the purpose. So what's happened now? The only purpose was to put about $500,000 in your coffers by selling the property to someone who said they were going to buy it. Less than 30 days later, this is morphed into the following. You're now giving a no-bid, almost 1 century, 100-year lease to one person who's not going to buy the property, and he may get free rent during that period of time. So what this is morphed into is the following. You're now giving a century-long, no-bid lease to one particular person without soliciting bids, without putting it out to bid, without putting out a solicitation for proposals from competing people. What would benefit the taxpayers in North Miami is the following. If the goal is to generate $400,000 or $500,000 or $600,000, the best way to do that is to put the property out for bid, and maybe somebody like Barbara or an adjacent landowner will put a bid on it, and they'll actually buy the property and achieve your stated purpose. If you put it out to bid, Barbara or someone else will put in a bid, and they may give you the revenue you say you wanted to have. But right now, what you're going to do is, if you put out, and the question for the council would be the following. Number one, 2 questions to answer. What is going to be done if this goes forward to protect Barbara and the adjacent landowners and protect their ability to park and not get put out of business after 30 years? And the second question is this, I'd ask you to answer if you could. If the goal is to generate revenue in the best interest of the taxpayers, and you have 2 options, vote on this tonight and approve a almost 100-year no-bid deal that part of which is going to be rent-free, or in best case scenario, you're going to get to $2,500 a month. Worst case scenario, it'll be rent-free. Option B is to put it out to bid or do a request, a solicitation for proposals in an open and transparent process, and give the adjacent landowners and other people an opportunity to put in a bid and actually achieve the purpose of generating revenue when you're going to be selling the people's land. If you're going to sell or lease the people's land, why not put it out to bid and get the best deal for the people instead of giving a no-bid contract to one person with an uncertain future? So my request would be, at a minimum, you have a new manager coming in and let her look at it, but I would ask you on behalf of Barbara to deny this application, and if you want to generate revenue, put it out to bid and let Barbara and other people submit proposals, and then come back and see if you're going to get something that will have greater benefit and greater revenue producing value for the taxpayers. And thank you very much. I appreciate it, and thank you very much. Thank you for listening to us.
Thank you, Mr. Peasy. Public hearing is now closed. Councilwoman, I'm sorry.
Hi. 1 sec.
I think Mr.
One second, please. May I?
Public's open.
I want to speak.
The councilwoman would like to speak. 1 second. I know this is her item. I'm sorry, sir.
Still open?
No, thank you.
No, public forum is still open, but she wanted a moment, a point of privilege. Did you want to say something?
Yes, please. First of all, wait, so.
Okay, wait.
Then, okay, let's continue with public hearing.
We extended the courtesy. The reason I asked you to allow him to speak through past the 3 minutes was because he was speaking in behalf of his client. We already received a letter. I'm assuming this is going to maybe lead into litigation. So if you're going to allow her to speak, I think the rules go back in place that it's whatever 2 minutes, 3 minutes that you give her, but it should not be another speech.
Okay. Councilman, did you want to wait till public hearing?
Yes, I'll wait till public hearing
Thank
is
you.
closed.
Public hearing is still open on the item?
Hey, how you doing? Castro P.O. Lewis, 13820 West Dixie Highway. I think you gave Mr. Pizzi enough time to speak. I would like to be allotted a time to speak.
Is he the applicant? Yeah. mhm,
Yes,
correct.
please. First of all, I got the lease 3 years ago. The parking, I have never denied Barbara or anybody from parking. She's here, she could call me a liar. I've always accommodated my neighbors. I've always been fair to my neighbors. I was just at a house a month and a half ago and we were speaking about this and I said, hey, let's see how we could put our heads together, whatever we could do to make sure she's okay. But you won't hear that. I've gone out of the way, paid the insurance, make sure the place is clean. I've never asked them to give me $1, not 1 cent. I've been a great neighbor to them. Okay, the audacity of me to think that I could build in North Miami. The audacity of me. I do have one of her properties under lease currently, right? And she's been fair with me, and I've been fair with her. And I saw her today. I said hello, gave her a hug. This is business, it's not personal. I consider her as a friend. I think we could sit down and we could negotiate anything. And I've always told her, Barbara, I want to make sure you're good. Always. Okay? So at the end of the day, I want to be fair, and I want people to be fair to me. And the whole point is I told her I have that property on the lease that she has right next door to my car wash. I said, Barbara, guess what? I'll give you back the property. You could put as much parking spaces as you want. I'll give you time. We've been talking, we've been negotiating like neighbors. But this is not me getting a lease right now. They're making it look like it's a new lease. No, I already have a lease. It's been 3 years. And I've accommodated everybody during the 3 years. And guess what? Only thing I'm asking for is a fair lease in order for me to build. That's the only thing I'm asking for. And I always kept my neighbors in mind. Thank you.
Eileen B. Cabot, 133.
I'm sorry, ma'am. She had next. Sorry.
Okay,
You
I'm
can-
sorry.
I'm sorry. Castro is correct. He has been.
Your name and address for the record?
Barbara Dabney, 13870 West Dixie Highway. Castro is correct. He's been a great neighbor and a friend. But what's happened when I saw all that was coming down on this last proposal at the 100-year lease is I'm not going to be around for 100 years, but certainly my kids might, and hopefully Castro's as well. But something has to be done when they were talking about low-income housing being built back there. And for the purpose of that land being turned over to that type of a purpose, there has been no foundation of it at all. And I think we have to work together or separately or with you to make this a viable property for the things, the units that I have and the folios that I have, as well as what Castro has. And the city just is against, kind of working together and just kind of giving it all to one person is wrong.
Thank you.
Eileen B. Cabot, 13350 Northeast 3rd Court. I think I agree with Mr. Pizzi and the lady. I do think this is not transparent and very typical of North Miami and the way it functions. And I have spoken out in the past against this type of thing already. And now you're going to have other businesses there that are using that parking lot. It is unfair. This is something where it should go out for bid. It should be transparent. And it should be available to everyone and not just handpicked and handed to one person.
Public hearing is still open on the item. Public hearing is now closed. Councilwoman?
Thank you so much. Again, I'd like to ask my colleagues to be supportive of this item. As you know, I've got elected here June 4th, 2019, and one of my initiative has been to improve our commercial corridor, West Dixie Highway. So anytime that something is going up on West Dixie Highway, I'm very passionate and excited about it and want to be as supportive as I'd like to be. Again, I'd just like to underline, some facts. This Zenith 79 already leases with us. We are amending the terms. I'm hearing that he wants to be there rent-free. That's not what the resolution here. It says the tenant is requesting an amendment of the lease for modifying lease for 99 years to modify the use of property from parking and retail, the purpose of construction, about 80 multifamily residential units. I'm happy to hear that Zenith and Barbara are willing to have conversation. I encourage that you have conversation, but what's in front of us right now is to approve this lease. This area is zone mixed use. I'm very excited about any time that we're dealing with first of all, improving the corridors, addressing housing concerns, or any other businesses that will be on there, but especially housing concern, I definitely would like to be supportive of that. So I'd like to make a motion to accept this resolution. However, I'd like to specify that I would love it, I'd love that there's 180 days that's allowed so that you can come back and give us a plan, and then after the plan, within a year, to pull permits, and to make sure that the lease is not assigned or sold to another party, if there was a purchase, and for the to further negotiate some similar terms that we have with other contracts that we've done on the east side and the west side of the city with this city attorney. So I just would like to, like I said, move for approval.
Councilman Burns, I know there's been a.
Thank you.
I got a second.
Questions for
I got a
the.
second.
Oh, second, I'll second it.
Thank you.
Councilman?
Did she get her second?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For the city attorney, what are we being asked to vote on now? Are we approving a lease tonight?
So we received a term sheet from the current tenant. The purpose of tonight is to get your input on what that lease should include. If you look inside, if you look at the resolution, it gives you those terms are in the resolution. I've just gotten 3 new terms that we're going to incorporate into the contract. If there's anything else you would like to put in, then we can do that also.
Okay, do we have to put those in right now? Because I think the fact that we're even listening to this tonight, that is so poorly portrayed to us, this particular lease and what they want. First of all, the maximum amount of units there are 60, not 80. It's a mixed-use piece of property. It's not just strictly housing. I'm all for giving them a due diligence period, but I do not want to issue, and I don't think we should issue enter into a 99-year lease till after they've done their due diligence, because the lease even says that if the affordable housing, which everybody gets excited about, is allowed and it's not feasible, he doesn't have to do that, and he can go back and do whatever he wants to do because he's got the lease on that property for many, many years. One of the conditions which I thought was good was that they had to pull building permits within 1 year, but the naivety of the fact that with the zoning, the land use, the mixed use, what would be required, the setbacks, I think it's premature to enter into an exact lease. I would feel more comfortable giving him 6 months, do all the due diligence, see what he really can't. He might get a rude awakening about what there's more that you can't do there than what you may think you can do there, and so that the city doesn't get caught up. One of the other issues, which is very valid on Barbara, is that if there's a municipal parking lot within 150 feet of your business, you don't have to meet the parking requirements. The CRA spent money both for the medical center and both for the flags and banners, hundreds of thousands of dollars investing in that property. They will now have no parking. So when the medical center leaves and a new tenant tries to come in, they're out of business because they won't meet the parking requirements because that city parking lot will no longer be available to that. As far as the the upkeep of the property and the way it operates now with some of the extra storage, and then it's causing, Barbara, could possibly be getting cited soon for the outside storage in the shell of the building that you have, which you lease to the applicant here. And that's going to be a problem for you, which is in turn going to be for him. So don't want anybody to think that this is a perfectly run, operated piece of property and there's no issues facing it. The appraisals that were done, one of them was totally off the mark, but it did not even include the alley, and we have to find out whether we're going to sell the alley, vacate the alley, where those businesses with that square footage are going to park. I just think it's premature right this minute to enter in, and you're saying we're not entering into the agreement, we're just talking about what we're going to put into it. Will that lease come back to us for final approval?
If that's what you all want, we can do that.
I think
right now, this is this resolution says that you're going to give us the terms, and you're giving us the authority to negotiate the agreement and execute it.
My personal self would say that because of this property and what it means to West Dixie Highway is that we give you the ability to negotiate, come back with the best terms, and then the council gives the final approval. And if they have a legitimate plan, legitimate financing to come forward, and then come back in 6 months, they have a free look to do what they need to find out. And then before we commit ourselves and future councils to a 99-year lease, let's see if they can actually pull off what they're proposing. And I just think it's not in the public interest at this point without having more facts. I want to be supportive of it. We need the housing, we need a lot of things, but I think it's premature until you have a chance to really negotiate with both parties to figure out what's the best interest for them and also the best interest for the city. And again, the property's not going anywhere. He has a 10-year lease, another option on another 10 years. So I think that would be the prudent way to go, and let the city manager, and the city manager and the city attorney really negotiate the ins and outs of this particular contract.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman, are you accepting any of his amendments? I know there was an
amendment to have it come back to us, let the city attorney negotiate, but have it come back for us.
No, I'm the maker of the motion. I'm not accepting any amendment. I'd like to send it the way it is, as agreed. Let them go negotiate with the intent for it to be 99 years with the option to purchase. And you heard my request for the 180 days and the pulling the 1-year permit. And what are the terms that you've deemed important enough that you could just speak to me privately,
clear,
but overall, that's
I'm sorry.
that. Go ahead.
No, to be clear, based on what you've asked us to do, ma'am, so and I think it works for both of you. It's just another way of doing it. This lease, if it's entered into, will have a requirement that he brings a viable plan to us within 180 days. It also says that there's no assignment of the agreement, and it says that he has to have building permits within 1 year. If none of those are accomplished, then there will be a provision in the lease that the lease is rescinded. So it does exactly what you're saying. It's just that he will have a lease that says that and gives him the opportunity.
So the 99-year lease portion will be rescinded, but he still continues with the
regular lease, right? I mean, and again, I'm not going to speak for him. I don't represent him, but typically, if you've looked at all the other cases that we've done this before, that's what the developers have needed to go out and get financing. No one's going to give him financing with a piece of paper that says, "Hey, you may have a lease." If it comes back to the city council. You give him a lease, he goes out, he gets his financing, he comes back within 180 days, says, here's the plan. The plan can even include parking for the neighbors if that's what you all want. He's got to go through planning and zoning. I mean, there's a whole number of times it'll be coming back to you. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But this, that's what this lease will do.
Thank you. Councilman Charles, did you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. It's been a motion and seconded.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Esther Irvin to approve the item at tab J. The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Timothy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item passes with a 4-0 vote. Tab K, a proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the interim city manager to issue purchase orders to Mark 43 Inc. in an amount not to exceed $1,369,577.50 for the purchase, installation, and implementation of a computer-aided dispatch parentheses CAD system and cloud native records management system parentheses RMS for the North Miami Police Department, waiving competitive bidding in accordance with section 7-120 parentheses capital B of the North Miami Code of Ordinances, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab K.
Tab K, thank you. This is pretty self-explanatory. This is new technology for our police department. I believe we all were briefed on it. I would like to open up public hearing at this moment. Public hearing is open for Tab K. Tab K. Public hearing is now closed.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin to approve the item at Tab K. The motion was seconded by Councilman Charles. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
Thank
The
you.
item passes with a 4-0 vote.
Thank you.
Thank you, council members. I just wanted to make note and mention that Mark 43 was represented here by, among several of the representatives, their founder and president, and so he was here in the event you had any questions.
Thank you. And I think they were a sponsor at the police, and learned a lot about
Just
Mark
give us the
43.
best.
Thank you, council.
Very impressed. Thank you. Citizen Forum is now open. Citizen Forum is now open. There's 2 mics. Welcome back. All the way from Delray.
Jim Garrett, which address? 247 Brittany or Delray Beach, Florida, or 11610 North Bayshore Drive. Besides the 100th anniversary coming up, and we should have Mr. Bronson, okay? Mr. Bronson, on the committee. We also have the 75th anniversary of the high school from 1951.
Oh, interesting.
We should celebrate both. And when we do celebrate, we should do the music fest up. And we should have it for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and use different venues. Like here at Mocha Plaza, we should have electric EMG dance. I do like having fun. Stadium and a beach party for Sunday afternoon. It's the only time we celebrate our 100th anniversary. And then we need to do a progressive dinner, dress up in the 1920s, use the North Miami trolley, and go around. That's what we did down at Miami in when I was at the University of Miami. We celebrated our 75th anniversary in 2001. Let's celebrate. Let's come together as a community. The last meeting, please don't repeat that ever again. Please. I got too many phone calls. Palm Springs, San Francisco. I had a friend who served on the board of supervisors. Chicago, I lived in Oak Park. I was on the library board for 8 years. We built a new library. But don't do this again, because when it does, it makes that business leaders say they're not going to come here. And remember this, NMB stands for North Miami's Better.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Garrett. And when you become a North Miami resident again, we'll appoint you to the Centennial Committee. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Angie Cordova, manager of the business Hernandez Tattoo Studio, 1675 Northeast 123 Row.
My name is Myra Aleman, and I will be here to go ahead and serve as an interpreter for Angie. Okay. So Ms. Angie is respectfully asking the city assistant in holding the construction company accountable and ensuring that monetary compensation for the financial and personal damages residents have experienced, including damages to her personal vehicle. Ms. Cardovo visited the building department yesterday to submit a formal letter outlining the incident and the ongoing issues negatively impacting the business. She was advised to bring the matter before the council at tonight's meeting. She is here as a small business that relies heavily on its client and is now facing significant hardship. She is seeking both a resolution and guidance on the next steps.
Where's the business address again?
The business address is 1675 Northeast 123rd Street. And
this is in front of the related project. Okay.
Hernandez Tattoo Studio.
Yeah, if you can have her submit some information to the city manager's office so we can follow up, so that we can look into that. Because I know we passed something that stated, we recently passed laws that said that if developers are having issues and causing damages, that they have to be assessed.
Well, on that specific project, I don't know if you remember, but Scout Galvin, and he put it on the record that he wanted those businesses protected.
Yes.
I'm not sure if we ever documented that anywhere, but they came up here
And they agreed,
said
yeah.
that they agreed to that. So if there's an issue, then we need to look into it.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lo que vamos a hacer es que la carta que usted sometió al departamento de building se lo va a mandar al city manager para que lo
If you can have her give the contact information, yeah.
Sí, no, hay que mandársela ya. Okay, thank you.
The deputy would, or assistant. Thank you so much.
Información ya, thank you.
Citizen forum still open?
Claudia Pasmino, 13504 Northeast 23rd Place. So earlier this evening, you guys discussed about festivals and all that. For the longest time, since I've been coming to this council meeting, a lot of residents have opposed to so many city events. And I remember at one time we even discussed having very few during COVID. So for you guys to bring it, or other people to bring it up saying we're being hypocritical, that we want to spend money on all these festivals, we don't. We actually, I remember years ago when I first started coming to this council meeting, when it was Mayor Smith-Joseph being upset, saying that during Haitian Heritage Month, there was 8 events, and I thought that was too many, being that earlier that year was Women's History Month and nothing took place. So we just finished May. There was a lot of events for Haitian Heritage Month. We had a lot of events now for Caribbean Heritage Month. So it's not us residents, it's you guys who are approving it and are coming up with these festivals. And then I do think that it was wrong that we had Jewish American Heritage Month and we didn't have that many activities other than that, a reception. It was also Mental Health Awareness Month in May. We only had 1 event. So let's be more inclusive and divide it equally, all these events. And also, we're not asking for festivals, these events. We actually want less.
You forgot Hispanic Heritage Month.
Exactly. I have no problem with Hispanic. If they, to my knowledge, there's like 4 or 5. If you guys just want to do the grand fiesta for Hispanic Heritage Month as a Hispanic Latina, I have no problems with that.
Thank you. Ms. Thrillis.
Good evening. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you, to the mayor and the council for your trust. I look forward to working with you in the future. I know that previously we were able to work together with focus, discipline, and get through difficult times. So I'm excited that we'll be able to move the city forward in a stable way. And particularly, I want to say, Councilman Burns, I wasn't on the council, you weren't on the council when I was here before, but I plan to come with the same energy that I've had before. Thank you all. Councilman Charles, for being a very strong supporter. Estimate Irvin, you know that we have worked in the past, and I'm excited to come back and work with you. And the same with Councilwoman Timothy. So thank you very much. And in the absence of the mayor, I also thank him, and I look forward to getting to work. Thank you.
Thank you. Citizen forum is now closed. Council reports. You guys have 30 seconds.
No,
30 seconds.
Quickly, if I may. Usually I'm last, so I just want to be first so that we can get out of here. Just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Congratulations to Terrellis. I know you are going to lead us to the next chapter. I just want to say thank you to that. Welcome. And my dear friend Brian on back, say hello to you. The Honorable, I know how busy you are, but thank you for your time. And just thank you. It is great privilege to sit in here and look at all my colleagues. Listen, basically, healthy discussion is what makes this business fun. Nothing personal. We got to come in here and take care of business and of the city. It is what we signed up for, and I am glad to be part of that. And just want to say thank you to each and every one of you, and have a wonderful night.
Councilwoman.
Thank you so much. Good evening again. Just want to, again, thank everyone for your input in this political process, but want to congratulate Teresa Theralis. And, you know, and I also want to thank the current city administration for all of the hard work that they've put in. And
they're not leaving yet.
I know they're still here, but I always want to publicly say that and to say that I've noticed your work. I appreciate you very much and will continue to work with all of you still, and I'm so very grateful for that. And again, I'll publicly say thank you for being our shield, Miss Annabelle Emmanuel. Thank you. I'll never stop saying thank you because it was rough for me personally. Thank you for being there. And again, looking forward to working with Teresa. So in my 30 seconds now.
No, you're done.
Good evening, Vice Mayor. So, good evening, colleagues and neighbors. I am Councilwoman Mary Esme Irvin, well representing District 3, and it's both an honor and a joy to stand before you as we close Caribbean Heritage Month. I want to thank my colleague, Vice Mayor Cassandra Timothy, for taking the lead, for a time to reflect, to celebrate, and to reconnect. In our nation's history, Caribbean immigrants have helped shape American experience through unyielding dedication, innovative spirits, and vibrant cultural expression. From advancing civil rights to driving economic growth, their contributions run deep and wide across every facet of our society. So let's not forget the richness of the Caribbean culture, its rhythm, its language, its cuisine, its resilience, and not just a part of our heritage, but a living, breathing force that continues to shape our community today. So just wanted to throw that 2 cents in. I'm also very excited to remind you about our constituent day that we're having this Thursday at Griffin Center, where we will be focusing on hurricane preparedness, and you'll have other great departments that you can come and chat with and learn more. And then for Father's Day, a prolonged Father's Day this Sunday, we're having a barbecue. So we want all the fathers to come out to barbecue with us. It's going to be fun, and to fellowship with us at Buccaneers Park. And if you don't know where Buccaneers Park is, it's a linear park that is between 145th Street and 144th on like 7th Avenue Northeast. So, and as always, I just want to, I'm reminded by the pillars of my transparency, technology, and transportation, and values to drive of our shared vision for more responsive and inclusive forward, working with District 3 and all of North Miami. So I thank my colleagues for your support, and that's all I have for tonight. Good evening.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Burns?
Several things. Want to remind everybody who missed it that our former city clerk, Cy Bloom, had passed away on June 1st. He was the city clerk. He was a lawyer. He was a veteran. He was in the U.S. Air Force. He was a JAG officer. He helped found the Shake a Leg program, teaching disabled children how to sail. He was also the brother-in-law to former Councilwoman Carol Keys. He was a pillar in our community and served with distinction all the years that he was the city clerk. Also need to thank the Chief of Police for the North Miami Police Department's participation in the Stonewall Pride in Wilton Manors. The chief and also Officer Moffitt. We had the Pride police car up there, and a contingent of residents from the city of North Miami who participated, went over very well. And that's about it for right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. And at this time, we'll do a quick moment of silence for Clerk Bloom, who passed away. Thank you. And I know City Clerk Vanessa also paid a very well tribute on social media as well. I'll just like to take a moment to thank our interim team, Annabelle, to John Lowerfields, Katya, and the whole entire city manager staff. One of my favorite quotes from MLK is, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in the moment of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at a time of challenge and controversy." And this past year has been challenging, to say the least. We've had cyber incidents, we had torrential rain, we had incident after incident, and through it all, you guys stood to the test of times. It is not easy to deal with all five of us up here, but to Annabelle, to John, to Katya, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd also like to take a moment to send farewells to Christine Carney. I see she's smiling back there. But this is our last council meeting with Christine as our Parks Director. Yes. She is my partner in crime. We actually started together back in July 2015, and after 10 years of service, she finally gets to leave us. But it is not goodbye. It's see you later, because we are definitely friends, and I will be visiting soon, so I will take you up on that offer. But again, thank you so much to the work that you've done here in the city of North Miami. You have filled in some huge shoes. It really does start in parks, and the impact that you have had throughout the department, from our tot lots to every city events, to every, ooh, girl, we'll be here forever dealing with the Mayor Know Me Fest. But Christine, we thank you, and you will surely be missed. I'd like to take a moment to welcome Teresa Thorilis back to the city of North Miami. You are a true gem to our city. You realize what you had when it's gone, and I'm glad to say that we get to bring you back, refreshed from the county with all those resources and all those connections, and I know you're definitely going to push us forward to new heights. And to my colleagues up here, I know, we, from time to time, I make my jokes here, but just want to thank you all as well. For getting us through this meeting, and we made it out alive. And last but not least, thank you to the Caribbean Heritage Month Committee, our lead, Steve and Marcellus, for putting on a beautiful celebration throughout the month of June. Look forward to seeing what we do in the years to come. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, and thank you for a wonderful month, Vice Mayor, of Caribbean Heritage Month, and thank you to Arlette for her leadership in really executing a masterful vision for all of those events. Thank you so much to the interim team, to Annabelle and John for your leadership in these times, and congratulations and welcome back to our city manager, Teresa Thorilis, and of course we look forward to the work that you'll do. I do feel called to talk about the fact that I think we're witnessing a time of really deep complexity with everything that's happening in the world, and it's in these times that we really start to see people wake up, start to ask the really hard questions, and maybe recognize the fact that to be silent is a privilege that we have, but it's also a dangerous one. And in these times, we really have to speak up and stand up for the things that we believe in, and we have to not just be outraged and not just share our opinions, but we have responsibility to act. And so whatever that issue is for you, I encourage you to really step up and do something, because in these times, it's that apathy, that lack of action that is going to further descend us into a state where we feel powerless, and we end up realizing that had we done something, things could have changed. So I just felt called to say that for whatever reason. Christine, we're gonna miss you a lot. There's another person leaving the city. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, so I won't say their name, but what I will say is that this person was a true phenomenal asset to our community. To see how this person has been able to interact with the community from young to not as young, participating in just about everything that we have as a city, in every event, every opportunity that there is to connect with the community, this person has shown up and really shown out. And so to that person, we're really proud of where you're going to next. I'm extremely happy for you, but I am so sad for what this community is going to lose. And I hope that we can find ways to keep you around. And I hope that we can find ways to really continue to have you within our community. So thank you for all that you've done. And they know who they are, so it's cool.
City manager, city attorney.
No report.
Good evening. First of all, thank you very much to the Mayor and Council for the opportunity to serve the city in the interim city manager capacity. And secondly, congratulations and welcome back, Teresa. Looking forward to seeing you here again. No further report.
All righty. Motion to adjourn?
All in favor? Any opposed?